talking. This is friendly competition. So please do not talk bad about people running against each other or people not running against anyone. Just don't bad out anyone. Also, if you're running against a different party, we're going to ask you to step out during that party speech. And then we'll let you know when to come back in. And then people who are running, you have 2 minutes each. If you have a PowerPoint or anything else, that's included in 2 minutes. You can go through that, and then you'll have about 5 minutes to answer. We'll let you know. I already have warning time for 1 minute, 3 seconds, and 10 seconds to reply when you can. We are going to long. There's a lot of people today.
You guys have questions?
Okay, everyone ready?
How many? 2 or 5?
So for tomorrow, today is just 3 committee positions, and then the rest of e-board. And then tomorrow is also going to be the rest of the committee positions that are being run for. And that will be in Cuneo 109. So it won't be here, but it's from 7 to 10 p.m. tomorrow as well. So if you're here today, hopefully you can come up tomorrow as well, so that we can get the same turnout for voting.
Also, just in respect for everyone, please put your phones on vibrate so we don't have any distraction.
Okay, important date. So we are elected, okay, so meeting is Saturday actually, so keyboard's all the time. We'll let keyboard, pull out the keyboard now, I guess, because there's a transition meeting on the Saturday. Yeah.
Sunday. No, it's just for
e-board, right?
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll put our keyboard together. I had to leave that. We'll announce that. So if you're like that keyboard, the meeting is Sunday, you have to go to staff, transition meeting next week, a week and a half. And then there's going to be a staff orientation for 2 weeks. You guys all decide to get there?
Yeah.
We're going to start with academics.
I'll close it.
Are these like previous? I don't want to lean into it.
Tape. No tape.
What's up with that?
Oh, do you have tape?
No.
That's okay. No.
I don't think so.
Do you take?
Do we have a mystery bag that we can use to keep all ballots in? Oh no, we'll just collect them. Huh? Election in progress. Where's Oh, I need to give myself one. Hold on.
Hi, you want a welcome.
Keyboard.
You got one? You can get one.
Anyone else want anything else? You're keeping time?
Okay. You can start
I might have to send for this.
All right. Ready and guys. Hi everyone, I'm Arasha. I'm a junior nursing student, and I'm Crystal, a software biology student on the pre-PA track, and we're running for your academic coaching. So one of the greatest things about Kapwa is that there are so many things to be involved in. However, I'm sure many of us have seen that the dedication and time that it takes to put into these activities can really take away from our academics, which is why the staff created an academic chair. You all might be thinking, academics, what? Like that is so lame. But remember, we are all students first, and you or your parents are paying up $15,000 a year to go to Loyola. And I think most of us can agree that we can't afford for that money to go to waste. So in order to prevent that from happening, we're planning to organize several events and programs that can keep us all focused on the real reason why we're here. We'd like to initiate weekly open study halls, continue the tutoring program, and implement a 2.5 GPA requirement to highlight Kapwa's dedication to academics. But, y'all like to have fun. So, we plan to hold different events throughout the school year, such as Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?, relaxation events, and a reward system. Finally, we wish to collaborate with other branches, such as community service chairs, to hold a book drive, as well as AKB, to ensure the Boonzos are handling the college workload.
Through these programs and events, we hope to fulfill our mission of promoting academic success within Kapwa. We have seen far too many people leave Loyola, become inactive in Kapwa, and have breakdowns due to performing poorly in school. If chosen as our future academic co-chairs, we hope to prevent these situations and put an end to this trend.
We'll open up now to questions, and we're going to start with the board questions with staff. Maybe?
So how will you promote the young body and encourage people to actually sign up to it?
So I would really want to work with our general body now to have them promoted through our AKB program. So I want to work with the future AKB courts so that they can promote it to the freshmen because they're the ones who won't really know about it, as opposed to all of us who really know about it. I just want to put flyers or just really try to promote it through social media and everything so that people are just aware.
We're also planning to send out surveys, since this is a new chair to Kapwa, to see what you guys would want, since we all met together, and hopefully through that we can respond to your needs.
Go ahead, Dr.
With the GPA requirement, how do you plan on enforcing that? And let's say if someone doesn't meet that requirement, there could be personal reasons or something like that. Would they not be able to be a part of Kapwa, or how would you feel about that?
So we're not 100% sure on how to implement it, but we know Leaflet, they have their 2.5 GPA requirement to make sure that everyone's upholding to their academics. And so we wanted to see if we can talk to them or Loyola and how they implement it, so we can mirror that and add that to our program if it's okay with the board. And then from there, if someone does fall under the 2.5 GPA, we want to do a probation status. Then they're aware, hey, you need to either take a step back a little bit and put more effort into academics, or you just need to reevaluate to see if you truly want to still stay with us. And if so, then maybe try hard.
We have to talk to the other chairs, like cultural, see what they would want to do, because it's obviously their events that they're in charge of, to see what kind of probation they would want.
But that doesn't go with just the culture, it goes with even rights will say collectively if we want to do for probation status it means you can't do a certain performance or something like that. But I feel it's all still
So my question would be, keeping accountability with your tutor, because you mentioned a tutoring program, how would you make sure that your tutors are keeping track, staying on topic? Sometimes often study groups can be effective and ineffective all at the same time. So how do you make sure that your tutors are doing what they're supposed to be?
Want to do an anonymous survey every once in a while. We hand that out to the person who's getting tutored to make sure that they feel that person is effective. And if not, then we will do a checkup with that person, or if need be, switch that person to a different tutor.
We can even attend tutoring sessions with you to make sure that they stay on track.
Along with the promotion of it, we do something that is slow for people to feel comfortable with that. How do you think you can make it more comfortable for the general body?
I feel just to make it more comfortable, I guess I would just say that all of us have been in their shoes. Everyone is struggling with academics. I mean, of course, there's going to be a side paper doing rounds. A lot of us are struggling to balance everything. So I want to just not tell them my life story, but like have them know that they're not alone, so that they feel more comfortable signing up and not like, I don't want them to feel embarrassed or anything, that they like need help, so I don't feel really stressed. We also have fun events, so they could go to those, and hopefully it'll open up the way for them to attend the more serious programs and get involved in those.
I'll take that question, then we'll open up to everyone. My question is, considering that this is new, and it's really, really important, I think it's great that you guys ran, how do you plan on, like, launching this right away? Since this is a completely new program, and it's really important that right when we start the school year, it's like, it, kicks off. So what do you plan to do, like, right when the school year starts?
I know both, but we talked about having an informational meeting at the very beginning and showing like, hey, this is new and we want to cater to families. So then I feel like that would be a good time to fill out the surveys. And then at that meeting, we want to say like, give them advice and like quick tips and show like that these resources are good for them to utilize. Because the principals are transitioning to college and that's very different. So we want them to have the resources and advice from upperclassmen even at that meeting to tell them we've learned this throughout the years. This is what you should know while you're here to help you surround. And that's why we want to collaborate.
Thank you. Okay, so general body questions? What?
Can you elaborate on the reward system? If it's sort of like how you want it.
So that was just a general idea. We would have to see because that could be expensive. We were thinking something like if you get an A, you get I don't know, a donut or something. But we have to see, if we even have a budget or if we could do, something that doesn't require like materialistic things. We're still kind of brainstorming on that.
Any other general body questions? Charlie?
So, sorry. So you guys have definitely had experience before dealing with this and really good academic achievements as well. What about your experience with your academics empowers you to feel confident in taking on this position? So I guess maybe another question is, if looking back to how you were as a freshman, what advice would you give to those freshmen in order to have academic success?
I feel like for me personally is one, really utilize their resources on campus, like tell them that there are outside of our tutoring program, there's a tutoring program in Sullivan, and make sure that they're aware of that. And also that, like with lectures, I would recommend that they record everything so that even if they are taking notes in class, but there's always times where you always miss things. So by recording it, then they would be able to go back and listen to it. And I feel like just really knowing their workload capacity. Because I feel like a lot of people, freshman year, just want to sign up for everything and anything just to try anything new. But tell them that they need to be conscious of what they can handle personally. And so I would suggest doing maybe like 1 or 2 extracurricular activities, but don't overload it. And really prioritize what stuff needs to be done. So I tell them to for sure get a planner and write everything out for the semester and just get everything together.
And for me, it would be utilize your time, don't procrastinate. I know that's one thing we're also trying to do, but socializing, I know it takes a lot of time. And I would tell myself, prioritize what you need to get done before you go into these other things that can wait.
And really make sure that they know yes, it is your freshman year, and a lot of them do want to go out and have the time of their lives. But I want to stress that even if you miss a party, there will be another party. If you miss an exam or screw an exam, you can't really you have to try really hard to make up for it. So I want to stress that.
And you have 4 years here, so there will be more to just do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I will take one more. Melody?
So just going back to your program, with the study halls, you guys have plans to I guess, not regulate, but just like make sure people are changing work, because we're very talkative and active group, so even like I feel like people are trying to do stuff ourselves. It's still really, it's just a big procrastination group then, so I don't know if you guys wait, you're gonna try and do things actually get done. Well, I know with us, when we study together, we like don't talk at all. We try to like not even face each other. And that seems like impossible. But like I would want to try to get a big room, so then we can set up different tables so that like there would be like less people per table. That makes sense. So like if you know like during finals week, the fourth floor IC, there's a limit of 2 people per table. And it's like you can't be on your phone, you can't talk, so I would want to like have maybe one person each study hall day to be like in charge of that study hall. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this is your job, you have to do it, but like I would want like volunteers to sign up for like a study hall per week, like divided like that.
And like with the separation of tables, I know not everyone studies well, like if it's dead quiet, sometimes people need music, sometimes people need like a break to talk. So you can have different tables with like your needs. If you need dead quiet, you can go sit farther away from people. If you need like a little bit of music or stimulation, you could sit with other people. It's really like what you guys need.
Thank you.
We'll give you a minute to vote.
You all can fill out your ballots now, and then we'll be collecting them.
Please hold them. Pass them down. Oh, sorry, pass it to the center.
And the AKB candidates can prepare.
AKB, go ahead.
Seriously, it's just hanging out here.
The last one's on the post.
Yes. So wait, there's 2 people running for this or just one? One.
AKB, go ahead.
AKB?
All right.
No, just one. There's one. Everyone today is just one.
Wait, Dana. Don't log into that. Oh, wait, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we can go. We can go.
Where's academics? Like the.
Where's academics? Oh,
Where's academics? Is there extra academics?
I don't know who. They only have enough.
We should know we had extra.
I don't know where to put it.
Hello, my name is Daniel Vitug, and I'm a freshman in nursing.
My name is Ralph Ledesma, and I'm a freshman bio major with a human card. We're running for AKB coordinators because our goals are to encourage camaraderie and familial values between the Kapwa community and guide becoming consultants to their new surroundings and college experience. AKB is the foundation of Kapwa, and it's important to us because we both have been given families who we are close to and hope to be our friends for the rest of our lives. So if given the opportunity to become AKB coordinators, we hope to provide the future Usos with that same experience.
What makes us different from past years is that instead of using the AKB program to individually pair up themselves and actively dance, we also want to prioritize integrating the bi-monthly activities to better connect all the classmen together. We also aspire to integrate the different clubs within Kapwa to increase the diversity of each member. Ralph embodies the leadership qualities of being able to assist the incoming Bluesos with transitioning into their college experience, and he has a welcoming presence that will bridge the gap between the Bluesos and underclassmen.
Dana not only provides a fun and caring environment needed as an AKB leader, she also demonstrates the leadership skills needed in order to successfully oversee our future AKB events. When we as a team are given the chance to serve as your future AKB boards, we promise to maintain the values and ideals that Kappa represents, which is togetherness.
One event that we want to provide for the AKB program is a field day/picnic day. We would collaborate with the athletic courts in making this event happen. We feel that this event can not only provide unity within different clubs in Kappa, but it will also bring us together on this exciting experience.
For
us.
All right, so we're gonna open it up to staff questions first, so.
Keyboard.
Oh, maybe, sorry. So first, we just want to see,
Okay, so these are some of the events that we were thinking of. Obviously, AKB reveal night, as always. In October, we really liked the Halloween that we did this year, which was really fun. And I think we'd add probably like a costume contest and then watch a scary movie during the event. That'd be fun.
For December, we plan on doing a Christmas pop-up with everyone. This would include an ugly Christmas sweater contest and a Secret Santa within each year. And there's also a caroling night with families.
And then probably for the spring semester, we tried to do a Filipino movie night. That'd be fun, I think. And popcorn. Kilig movie.
During March and April, which would be our final AKB gathering. That was when we're planning to do the field day, which would be a picnic at Grand Park or Lincoln Park. And we really know it something based on that. And we'd also do a sports day collab with the athletics chair during that day.
Okay, so in previous years, people have requested a specific person that's going to be on the booth. So, would you guys accept requests? Would you let people from the same school together? What do you guys plan to do?
I think it depends, honestly, with the circumstances, because we want each member to at least branch out and get to know more people instead of just being with someone that they've known for a long time. So,
another issue that we had attended with, was that, I mean, we use social media a lot, so but there's some people who just don't really use social media, and so it's hard to contact them. And especially when it comes to like it's hard to like contact them at all, because if you can have them doing, I mean, there's some people that still haven't answered us to this day. So I guess, I guess our question is, how we're gonna do that? Just how to make sure that they are doing well, or if they're even being active at all.
So I think what you guys did during the first AKB meeting that you gave us, we gave all the groups of the sheet which you could put your email, like your Facebook, and we kind of implement something like that, but we also put the phone number. Just kidding. But we try to contact them as soon as possible, and if not, we talk to the other people too, because it's very easily interconnected at that point. And if not, we have to.
and like, there's this thing on your phone, I forgot what it's called, it's some program, but like you put in everyone's number, they have to like register to the program or something like that, and then like you do like an overall text every that kind of thing, to like remind everyone.
One question from Sorry.
That was it.
So another issue that we had was with our Bunzo questionnaires. The holding of like what they like best was very confusing. How do you guys plan on doing your Bunzo not review questionnaires? Like how will you figure out
Definitely with interest and visual. Okay, but with that one, yeah, I can see how that was confusing.
We have to do like a different system to make sure they know how to read. A different system for that. And also in regards to like the different interests that they have, if we're not sure if that's their interest, there's also other ways to find out, such as contacting themselves or looking through their Facebook.
All right, so we're gonna open up to staff questions overall.
Okay. So as AKB co-chairs, you guys are held accountable for your committee. And as you know, we do get a wide range of ates and kuyas and a lot of different opinions. How do you plan on dealing with sensitive topics as in drinking and partying and risky behaviors? And how do you hold that accountable to the ates and kuyas? What kind of expectation are you gonna hold on top of them? And how will you implement that?
I think as in with regards to actually enforcing it through like the guidelines. Just the ates and kuyas just really have to be good role models, encourage their bunsos to like make the right decisions. Because like with the drinking and stuff, that can affect academics too at one point. So yeah, as in like just enforcing to not destroy, but like not have peer pressure affect their academics.
And if it gets to the point that it's detrimental to either the Atikuya or Russo, then we definitely have to have like personal conversations with them. And if it comes to that point, then we have to separate them or assign them to a new Atikuya or Russo.
Okay, next question. Jennifer.
So just in a situation, say a bunso wants to like run a degree program, but for some reason they didn't like fill out a survey or a form, and they arrive to the GPA real or family.
I think so. We probably do it, I guess, at a deadline, if that makes sense. Because we don't want anyone to feel left out. So,
If they wanted to, but they didn't get the chance to, it shouldn't be their fault. And we would take responsibility for that and we help them plan that.
Everett and then Nikki.
So every year, every AKB court has a challenge of trying to satisfy but yet uphold the standards of how many bunsos they can have. So are you owing to exactly? How likely are you going to enforce, or if there is going to be an enforcement of how many bunsos you can have?
Yeah, there should be an enforcement of how many bunsos someone should have, because it really depends on like if they can handle it, even money wise too. Yeah, so I think it's the ates and kuyas' responsibility to know how many bunsos they can handle. It depends on every case.
Alright.
Jackie? And then-
It's not an open-ended question, but do you guys think you have a rough idea of the extent of a problem to which we have to step in with handling, such as like as little as non-communication between bunso and the family, or at one point you see that the Atikuya is teaching things wrong or encouraging these behaviors? You guys have a threshold of like that's
Yeah, especially when like an athlete career with like
because the Bunso really wants to be in this AKB's program. They were put in a family, and unfortunately they neglected their activities from top. So I think we stepped in that because it's kind of unfair for them because they didn't see it coming, I guess you could say.
We'll be doing Bunso checkups like last year just to make sure that nothing's happening. And if we can tell something's wrong, like if we're even if we see them, we just ask them how they're going. They don't want to talk about what's going on with or if they nothing to talk about. And that's definitely a sign. Right? So we have to do this.
Okay, one more, and then we have 3 minutes.
General.
So I'll last staff question on general body. This is obviously a very important component of Kapwa. AKB is like the heart of it. So what is your vision, I guess, for your year? Like, how do you see, like, what would you like to improve from this past year, and how do you plan on that happening? What do you want to see as outcome of the end of next year?
Okay, so everyone understands that AKB is like the foundation of Kapwa, and without AKB, family would be weird. So Janine and Melody have already done a great job this year, and one thing we'd like to improve from that is that the program of AKB is designed to pair up Bunsos with a freshman or a sophomore, junior, or senior classman that wants one. And instead of just pairing it up with them, we want to integrate the whole class together, which is why we want to implement the bi-monthly activities to keep everyone together instead of just, oh, it's this family and this family and this family and this family. One together.
All right. Okay. General body questions now. Why?
So as AKB coordinator for them, when Kayleen and I ran together, we also tried to do the events that we wanted for March and April, including sports day with athletics, but it's cold. The city is not trying to be perfectly honest. The problem that we had our year was that the weather was just bad, and that because the end of the year is really rushed for Kapwa, because we have elections, we have the end of the year gala, and we're going to transition in April. Would you be willing to, and AKB, like AKB is really important at the beginning of the year, like you can all understand that, but as the year goes down, AKB has to like kind of step aside. Would you guys be willing to move it towards the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
Okay, just think of like.
And if it's too cold, we have to reserve like an indoor gym or something.
Yeah, I just wanna, like, you guys have like backup plans?
Yeah.
Okay, just.
Okay, we have like less than a minute to general bodies, so.
Going off of Meldy's questions before, and I see this being primarily a problem for your class because you guys don't have Bunsos yet. But what if there's a family that gets a Bunso, but the Bunso isn't as active, and you're like the family that got them is really excited and really wants to make it that time, but that Bunso's not giving, like not necessarily like as invested. So how would you guys make this happen?
Probably just really, I guess, encourage the Bunso, because like what I said before, like they like wanted to be in AKB initially. So it kind of sucks if all of a sudden they're inactive. But I mean, I understand like if they're busy with academics or like they're a commuter student.
Like if the family, like you said, if the family is really excited to get that new Bunso, and once they get it, they'd be encouraging them to attend all these things. And if they don't show up, first, me and Dan personally talk to them and ask them, you know, what's wrong? Like, why don't you want to do these? And we help fix the problem.
All right, we're out of time, so thank you so much. And we're gonna move on to
Is that the clear one? What? Is that the clear one?
it's cultural.
Yeah, good luck. You want a donut? Sorry? You want a donut? Yeah, I want a donut. This is well, Mina gave it to us. So, we need to hang out. They're passing it out right now, but yeah, but you have to wait till cultural is next. Should we do like? Maybe like come down. 3 minutes for speech. Half a minute for history. So I'll set it for people. I'll set it for out.
This is really cool. You know, I don't know why we're saying a speech. We should probably be dancing, right? See?
Where's cultural? Internal.
Can I have one? They're not. Is there more cultural?
There might be extras from there, yeah.
We'll be doing 2 minutes for the previous board, 5 minutes for staff, and 5 minutes for general bodies for questions now.
Hi, Kapwa. I'm Janine Momibao. I'm Laura Health.
I'm Julia Rodriguez.
And we're running for your cultural directors. Cultural is one of the many branches of Kapwa that builds relationships, encourages participation, and growth. Our vision next semester is to keep inclusive, the inclusive environment that Kapwa is known for, but with increased efficiency and authenticity. We plan to create concrete and organized schedules throughout the year that will be communicated with the dancers. We also plan to restructure the committee to not just help with the choreography, but to also help enforce the collection of dues and to keep inventory of the props, the many props that we have. And as for increased authenticity, we plan to incorporate live music from the beginning of the year, from first semester rather than waiting for second semester. And we plan to add a live musician position for the committee to help us engage more and learn more about the Filipino life music.
So just to reiterate what Janine said, I'm sure you guys are curious about what we expect out of our general body. We want to make this as open as possible. In terms of practice, one thing that we do well is we communicate and we are always in touch with each other. And we want to make sure that communication is reciprocated to the general body. So you guys will know when practice is, what dance we'll be doing, and what kind of expectation we're going to hold you guys. Of course, like, it's supposed to be a fun time, but at the same time, if the dances are not getting done, then we won't be going anywhere. So we want to make sure that we can provide the general body with the tools that they need, that you guys will know when your practice schedule will be. You guys will know what you need to bring to practice, and we want to make sure that everyone is accommodated for.
Since we all have served as AKB courts in the past, we really understand how much family means to Kapwa in general and cultural as a whole. So we hope to express that in our turn as culture coordinators. Thank you.
So just general.
Yeah.
resources. During Kasama event, Brad Go's dad actually gave us contact information to a nickel stick distributor. So hopefully, with enough funding and hopefully through collaboration with the new funding chairs, we can get new sticks. Janine's and actually got us new umbrellas, new malungs, and the whole outfit from the Molden tribe. So that's for our resources, and we can continue to contact her according to the need, and hopefully we can just expand our repertoire of costumes.
As nursing students, are you guys able to handle the workload of
As nursing students, I know for a fact that we're very serious about our work. You remember what I said last year. If we are not paying attention, if we are not watching our patient, they will die. That's how serious we are. Yes, no, in terms of that, we do plan to utilize each other, stay in communication, a lot of early planning, a lot of collaboration in our future plans, and no one ever said this job would be easy, but we're gonna make it work.
Personally, for me, for the nursing curriculum, I am ahead of schedule. So I will only be taking 16 credits, 16 credits next semester, which is only 3 classes. And I will be taking 12 in the fall. So that gives a lot of time for cultural. And as for our clinicals, I know that's a big question for everybody. Me personally, yeah. Okay, so both of us are taking community and med-surg clinicals, and they are both morning clinicals. We ensured that with our counselor.
And one more question. So for like any member who wishes to partake in events like NIM or Longer League with the commuters, what are you going to do about them?
I'm personally a commuter student, and I understand the terrors, the strikes we have. From the Christmas carol to the bus, like I get so we want to accommodate for that, and that's why we want to make practice efficient. You know, we don't have to have 4-hour practice. If we are on top of our work and we're doing what we need to do, 3 hours is good enough, maybe even 2.5. But we do want to accommodate and make sure that they do have that opportunity. And if that means making practices earlier or during the weekends, we want to make sure it works.
I mean, we did that this year. We started practices at 6 instead of 8. I think that last year. And I feel like most of the commuters were able to make it. If they have a problem with that, saying that it's too late for them, we can always make a video, schedule a time where they can go individually. I'm pretty sure that we're all pretty flexible.
If not, I drive, and I care about my dancers. We care about our dancers so much, and I'm willing to drive anybody who really wants to do cultural but does not have to ride at night. I will drive them home. That's my promise.
Okay, general staff members, we have like 4 minutes for this.
Go ahead.
Melody first. Can you just elaborate on like the teacher?
Yeah, so this year's committee, we had 2 researchers and 2 choreographers. But during the committee, everyone kind of mixed in their role, like choreographers were doing research, researchers were doing choreography. So it wasn't very, it wasn't like a very static position. So we think that if we're in committee, you should be able to help with some choreography if we want to, do some research if we want to learn about the dances that we're doing. But I think they should, like, a big part should be helping with our organization because there's a lot of dancers that want to do cultural, and there's a lot of props that need to be done. So I feel like if they help with the inventory of the props and help collect dues, which was like a slight problem this year, like getting all those dues by the deadline, I feel like that's what the committee should be for. So like help make the job easier for the girl.
And the reason that when Janine was talking about the authenticity we are adding in the music chair is because music is so important to cultural. Every performance I personally would love every performance to have live music, but sadly that's not possible. So we really want to try to integrate it into NIM, have at least 2 performances be live music, just to help strengthen Kapwa as a whole, the musicality.
Charlie?
So what's your plan starting, if you do get elected Friday, whenever the results come out, what is your plan from there, all the way to the end of this semester, to the end of the election period?
So that was actually my last sentence of the speech. As we were talking about, we've already acquired costume resources. Kayleen's parents went to the Philippines and they got some instruments for us. We've already started the ball rolling, and even if we weren't elected, we would donate it to Kapwa anyways because we just love you guys. And we've already decided on our Butso dance, so right off the bat, hopefully by next week we can get all the Butso signed up for the Butso dance. And
For the gala, in addition to that, we definitely want to plan out how the entire year is going to look for us, so that, if we have upcoming events, sometimes we'll get gigs. The things that are like NIM and for battle, all of those things we already had started plans on. So we definitely want to map out our entire school year so that nothing is ever, last minute or, on the spot, on the job.
And as of now, because we're just super excited about cultural, we already have dances planned out for NIM possibly, and even for battle. Like, we just love cultural so much that we just plan, just for fun.
Ugo, and then Carlene and Everett.
As possible chairs for cultural, you guys know how important we are at Kapwa, and you guys know how popular we are at Kapwa. How do you mitigate your popularity with making sure that Butsos and the other members of Kapwa are parts of other partners in Kapwa? Because that becomes an issue when you guys start off, you guys get the ball rolling with NIM and everything. So how do you plan on mitigating all of that?
Okay, so to answer your question, very good one. I was a secretary this school year, and I understand the struggle. You want to do everything, you want to get so involved, but like practices every day. Like, how can I go to advocacy? How can I do athletics? It's so overwhelming. We're going to do a better job about coordinating that. Making sure that practices aren't every single day. Of course, like maybe NIM week, it might be more often than not, but that's the point of being on staff. That's the point of being leaders. We have to consider our general body and what's in their interest. Yes, of course, cultural is our priority in terms of how we do things, but it is important for us to be promoting what advocates does, what have a community service does. So in terms of that, of course, nothing's going to be perfect, but we're going to strive to promote collaboration with each other.
Also, I just think that recently, since it's going to be next year, I personally want to be as many companies as I possibly can with sustaining my academic standings. I personally want to do as many things as I can with cultural and Kapwa, the other communities in Kapwa. So, as somebody who's doing it, I think it's easier to see, especially with just to see, like, hey, reports can do things outside of just culture. You can do
And I think a lot of that goes with talking to other branches, trying to plan our surroundings with the relatives, getting things on the same page. We were supposed to have a master calendar. Maybe we can try to post that for next year. We don't have any.
How are you going to hold people accountable, especially when their academics are suffering? Because you want them to know the dance and want them to be on top of things, but you also want them to be on top of school. So how are you going to handle that?
I personally run with meeting people outside of just practice time. If, let's say, well, they're supposed to communicate with us our dancers are supposed to communicate with us their schedules. And let's say they do have a really important exam, and let's say we're teaching a really important part, I would want them to come to at least half of it, and whatever they miss, I'm fine with meeting them outside of time, as long as they're willing to really come to that outside practice, like full go.
And we've been in that position before, we have done culture, we know what it's like to struggle with an exam the next day, like practicing for battle. And it's gonna be really important for us, to promote that academics do come first. And I do believe that if we collaborate with the academic chair, they can be a great resource for us to promote study skills and maintaining our academics.
But that being said, we also understand the importance of academics. This year for battle, we did have a lot of dancers drop out because of their academics. So we're completely understanding about that. If that happens, then we will figure out a way to make do. And we could also utilize our new academic branch, try to see and talk to them, like who should we keep an eye on, who should we keep in check in.
So my question would be kind of open-ended. I know that we've in the past would ask alumni to take part in like helping with the dancing. Other than dancing, cleaning, how else would you integrate alumni if you're open to that suggestion?
Well, personally, I feel like I'm very comfortable talking with the alumni. So before we even tell the new battle members the dances, I want to make sure first that our story is straight. The story of the battle would be, or the battle story would be straight, and that we really make sure that because of their experience, they really give us tips on, hey, that doesn't really make sense. Like, a king wouldn't really do that to a servant or something. I don't know. Yeah, just really utilizing them because they know they've been in that position before. They know what they're doing,
And at the same time, we don't want to hold them accountable for our work. When it comes to cleaning, that's going to be a portion of ours. Of course, we want their opinion of how it looks. But in terms of running practices, that's our job, and we just want them to be more of a support system, not another quarter. So.
Would you be okay if we brought food battle day?
I'd love it if you brought food.
Okay, 2 quick questions. First question, with the policies of Loyola that we had found out, within the past 2 years, what are your plans for involving or not involving Loyola in cultural dance?
I personally believe as a Loyola student organization that we have the right to just have Loyola students. Like, we're paying for the space, we're paying a lot for our tuition, which includes the room, the reservations that we have. By all means, if they want to sit and watch our practices, like to a certain extent, or like come to a cultural workshop, then they're totally welcome to have them in the community. But I think it's important that the people who are Loyola students, that they get a chance to have the full experience of being in our.
And then last question, considering we don't really have a position dedicated to really spreading awareness of the Filipino culture, how do you plan on making sure that the dancers and the people in Kapwa and outside of Kapwa really learn about the value of Filipino culture and all that it offers through dance?
Well, we also did that this year. Before we presented the dance, we also gave a little research background on a little bit of history. And I think that's like super important to know like the background of the dances that you're going to do so you get fully character. So we like to keep those like research.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry to put it up more.
Who's next?
Yeah, feel free to ask me questions.
Okay, so we're gonna have intern public relations.
This is a
You're up next, and then Melody, we're gonna ask you to stand outside.
I can just feel proud because I can just feel see how people back
Time does pass.
Hello. Hello. Hi.
Hey, welcome. Who's here? Anyone here? Hey. There's 3 people. Who are the 3 people? I don't know. Whoever you are, y'all are dope. I love you all.
Thanks for coming.
See.
Wait, Irie, do you have your charger? It's 19%. Oh, okay.
Take Everett.
Sorry, Everett.
Bye.
Live streaming. Yay, so cultural.
See what the vote comes out.
Thanks, man. Should I wait out with Melody and then tell?
You want to?
Yeah, I'll wait out with her. Tell her.
Bye, Carly.
Hi, sorry. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, good luck. I'm so excited for the 2 of you.
Have a break after the turn off.
Are you gonna stay out here, or are you gonna? It's up to you. You can just stand here. You can stand there, or you can wait out there. Woo-hoo. Yeah, that's true. You want to vote for it, right?
Because I'm gonna vote for this.
Yeah. Wait by the door.
Wait, why does this one look like that? It's low. It's delayed.
Carly.
Oh, that's the one.
Carly. Carly. Charlotte. Do you need a ballot?
I need one too.
Is she outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this your candy bar?
Yeah. Where's the?
Hi, everybody. I'm Will Carrot. I'm a social liaison and political science minor. I want you all to imagine something for a moment. Imagine a couple that knows more than itself. A couple that breaks the notion that it solely keeps to itself. A couple that becomes an integrated part of the Loyola community as a whole. This is what I want to bring to this organization. Because while we have solidified the epitome of what it means to be a family, internally we must address the Ibaka, the other people. Part of being an internal public relations officer is interacting and communicating with not only the Kapwa community, but the Loyola community as a whole, which is something I believe we can do better. As someone who has worked in parts of the university, through departments, through organizations, I believe I have a unique connection to the interconnections of this university that not many others have, and I want to utilize the experience I have gained to bring me a more connected Kapwa. We are more than just ourselves, we have the board office community. Another job of the internal PRO is the recruitment of new members. As a non-Filipino person of color, I think I can be the right one to emphasize the inclusiveness of Kapwa, and that this organization looks beyond your ethnic background in who we accept. I want to convey to new freshmen and other law space that this organization is one of culture, love, acceptance, and care. I have personal experience in the love that this organization gives to those of different ethnicities, and I want to be the one to share that message. Having been on staff this year and the board of other organizations, it taught me countless lessons on what it takes to be part of an executive board and what it takes to run an organization. I was social assistant this year. I'm also the director and producer of Kova's fashion show. In terms of administration, I think I have the experience. Finally, I look forward to working closely with my external PRO and connecting with organizations outside of Loyola. I have a close relationship with Anakbayan Chicago, a Democratic Filipino Massive organization, and close ties with a board member of the Northeastern Filipino organization at Boston College Hall Philippine Society. I truly do believe I have the skills for this position, and I genuinely and graciously ask for your vote in this upcoming election. Thank you.
All right. So my first question, Hugo, is that I know that you're, as you mentioned, you were part of a lot of other organizations within Loyola and outside. How are you going to time manage all of those responsibilities? Being internal pro, you are the face of Kapwa, you represent the embodiment of Kapwa, and so it takes a lot of your time. And so yeah, how do you plan on doing that?
That's a good question. I anticipate that. I was part of a lot of things this year, and a lot of you guys know that. And next year is not going to be the case. I applied for this position because I wanted to give more of myself to Kapwa and less to outside things. So, along with Unacquired Chicago and working, Kapwa is really the only student organization I'm going to be a part of, and so I wanted to devote all my time to being the best and serving public relations officer that I can be. So that's your question.
That's the answer. Another thing about being internal pro is making network connections. Other than Anakbayan, how would you integrate outside communities such as the General Conference of Filipino Americans, the Filipino Americans of the Rizal Center, so those kind of organizations? How do you plan to work with them in making sure that we are out there and that we can become a resource to them?
If I do get this position, I do want to correspond with the current internal PRO and see what connections the Kapwa already has and figure out how to maintain those connections. As for connecting with other organizations in the university, I am very familiar with COPA. I'm part of COPA's board. I'm familiar with ASA, African Student Association, and various other organizations on campus. And I want to make sure that Kapwa becomes more part of the Loyola community by collaborating with these other organizations.
I think one last question I would have is that being an internal pro we share a lot together with tasks. So are you, also, of course, there are different personalities when it comes to sharing those assignments. Yeah. How are you going to make sure that there isn't passive tension within whoever is elected as external pro?
What I pride myself in being able to do in terms of working with groups is mitigating problems and ensuring that any type of pettiness, any type of any things that are not professional do not make it into the workplace. And if so, those things need to be addressed. I do understand that the work of an executive board is extremely stressful. At being a part of COPA and working with you guys as well, when we were planning the summer formal, I got a closer bit of a look at that. So I think I'm more likely to handle these kinds of confrontations, these kinds of issues. And so I don't foresee myself having any problems with dealing with things like that.
Quick question.
Yes.
Being that you are like the front runner of like contact for Kapwa, are you going to be able to manage? I mean, as in even during spring break, I got calls from organizations or inquiring with other departments. Are you going to be okay with managing all of that, being always 24/7 ready to answer questions about Kapwa?
So I'm not a rich person. I don't go on spring break trips. I don't have the money to go very many places during the summer. So in terms of being available at all times, because this will be an to the organization that I commit to, I will be available to anybody that wants to reach out to me. If you guys already know, Jared Kino's coming to Loyola for an event. And with coming with getting a headliner comes a lot of corresponding, a lot of making sure that you are on top of the people that are talking to you so that you don't make them wait too long, and I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Thank you, Bill.
We have 4 minutes for our staff questions.
Yes.
So, I am a student at Loyola. You have 30 seconds to tell me what Kapwa is about and try to get it.
Hello, Ivy. Look at you. Oh my gosh, you are a fantastic looking young woman. So Kapwa is a Filipino student organization. We have multiple different types of departments. We have athletics. We have social justice. We have so many things. I want you to know that there's a place for you. You will have a family by the time you're here. You will have a family by the end of the year. You will have best friends by the end of the year. And I promise you will have the best time in this organization that you have ever had in any organization that you've ever been a part of, Irene.
I don't know if you can beat me.
There's a competition here.
So you have the fortune of dealing with 3 internal public relations officers. Just put that out there. But I think one thing I guess that we could all agree on is that the collaborations with Loyola organizations isn't exactly has reached the best potential that it has. So what can you further expand on how you're planning to collaborate with organizations within Loyola and what strategies that you have in place, if any at all?
So part of, what I want to go into after college is community organizing. Part of community organizing, what it means to do that is, at its core, building relationships. And in order to get a collaboration effort to actually, go through, you have to have a relationship with somebody. So if I want to do an event with African Student Association for whatever reason, or I want to do Kapwa, I need to go out and reach out to them. I need to be a friend to them. I need to be someone that they're comfortable with. And I think that will be the number one thing in actually creating a rapport, creating a connection between Kapwa and that other organization.
Nikki and then Kaylee. Nikki.
So when talking with the general body, we don't always have the greatest turnout, meetings or anything like that. So we typically use social media. How do you think you can do a better job of making sure those posts get out there and there's maybe just one or not so many that people stop looking at them?
I totally understand that issue. When it comes to advertising things, our internal public relations officer does a fantastic job of making sure to see everything. No matter where we are, we will know this thing or this thing is not happening. But sometimes it gets to the point where we see it so often that we're like, I probably saw this already, I don't need to. And so that what we need to do is consolidate the amounts of places that we put this kind of information. So when we're doing, when we have work fair, what I want to do, when you have incoming freshmen or anybody that's in the organization, I want them to be a part of the Kapwa group page or some central page, so that anytime we upload anything or we want anybody to know anything, there's 1, 2, or 3 places that they'll know to go to, so that it's not in your class page and Kapwa and this and that. So consolidating the amount of space that makes sense.
Okay, we're gonna open it up to general body now. So, general body questions. What was that?
In terms of like sharing information and stuff like that, I know Everett introduced the usage of Facebook video and stuff like that to communicate events that are going on and stuff that's going on overall in the community. How do you go about that outside of Facebook and email and now our Snapchat? Like what other mediums do you plan to use?
So, for one, I will definitely build upon what our current internal public relations officer has done with Facebook and Snapchat and things of that nature. But what I was telling you about community organizing and relationship building is that even to go further than social media and things of that nature, I want to go up to people. I want to sit down and be like, hey, Jenna, are you coming to that Kapwa event next week? I'd love to see you there. Something like that, just making sure that these people, getting a hard ask going, asking people, will you be there at this event? Can I count on you to be there? Things like that. So I think having that personal, physical relationship with somebody is very important.
Next question.
Yes, so as internal pro, we do have a lot of events going on. I have it's more of like a 2-step question, I guess. But do you, so that does include putting more out of your time. Do you find yourself getting more, involved in other committees? Because if you are promoting these events, people are going to ask you questions. People are going to want more information. And if you're not at these events or if you're not in communication with our committees, how do you go about that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I do definitely want to be a big part of all the departments that we have in Kapwa. I already go to a lot of the events that we put on, even if it's not related to my chair. I enjoy being with you guys. I love spending time with you guys. You guys don't know how highly I talk about Kapwa when I'm not around. I want to be a part of all of your departments, from cultural to advocates to athletics to all of them. I want to know what's going on because I want to be able to convey your department and your part of this organization as best as I possibly can to make sure everybody comes to your events.
Maddie?
Yes.
Okay. Going off of that, so Kapwa has a lot of branches and there's meetings, this, that, everywhere. How do you plan to sort of get everybody to know about all of these events going on, not necessarily at the same time, but around the same time, and being able to sort of let everybody know that there's an advocates meeting there's Rice Bowl, there's AQB game night. How are you planning to do that?
So something that we talked about as a staff last year or this year was that master calendar thing. Yeah, it didn't really work out, but this year I want to make sure that's something that we really hone in on, because that master calendar thing would be absolutely wonderful letting every one of you guys know when an event is happening. As much as I can do social media, as much as I can do personal relationships, I can't do everything. And so, when I can't do that thing, we have the master calendar. If you want to know, like, hey, what's going on this week in Kapwa? Boom, master calendar link is right there. You always have access to it, and so you get to see what's going on during the week or during the year. So.
Everett?
No,
it's okay. No.
That's fine. So being on e-board as internal public relations, you get a lot of heat when conflicts arise, and some of that as part of e-board, you are in the discretion not sharing it overall to the general body just for privacy purposes. How do you plan to make sure that, like there's a sense of unity and a sense of we're all on the same page kind of thing?
So is your question more so asking about how I would keep confidentiality, or is it asking about like
how would you deal? How would you deal with the internal conflicts if there's something that arises unexpectedly?
Making sure to maintain professionalism. That is number one. That we while we are an organization that loves to have fun, everyone loves each other, we need to maintain professionalism. We need to act like adults and never letting the top blow off. That's something that comes with any elected position. You need to know how to handle stress. You need to know how to handle people who are upset at you. And I think I have a good grasp of doing that.
Yeah, that's
it. Kylene?
Oh, no, do you have follow-up to it?
Yeah, it's kind of going off the professionalism and everything like that, but how would you describe, considering public relations officer is very image-based, what is your image or presence in Kapwa, and how does that reflect Kapwa's mission?
Okay, well, so one thing that I really love about Kapwa that other Filipino organizations do not have is that we are a social justice oriented school for one, and we have made this organization to be a more social justice oriented organization. I want to give off this idea that Kapwa cares, that Kapwa cares about more than just itself, its members, but also about the world around it. That we are well-rounded individuals, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that. And so I hope the image that I give off by myself is one of a well-rounded individual. And so to answer your question more directly, I hope that that's the kind of image that I give off. I hope that's the image that I can give Kapwa abroad, wherever else we may be.
Okay. Name something you did well this year as a Kapwa leader and one thing you can improve on.
As a Kapwa leader, I would say one of the things I did best this year was taking, along with my co-chair, was taking Kapwa advocates in the direction that it's ever gone. I have heard wonderful things from all of you guys about what Evan and I have done as social justice chairs, and I really feel good about that. That we look like we are an organization that really values social justice, and I can see it in every single one of you that you guys are really changing. You guys are really changing from what I saw when I came in freshman year. So that's something that I think I did well, something that I think I can improve on. I didn't think I did the best job in coordinating with when my events are going to be and when their events are going to be, because as I was the chair for Kapwa Advocates, and I was planning events while cultural was meeting in the heat of a lot of things that you needed to do. And while I know cultural doesn't have to take precedence, I know that it's a very popular event. I should speak with the chairs and figure out, hey, are you guys trying to have your practice this day? Let me try to do this that day. And so in terms of scheduling with other people, that's what I think I can do better.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm gonna go to the next
So,
Are we taking a break now or are we taking a break after?
yeah, let's take a bathroom.
bathroom break.
You have 3
bathroom
minutes.
break. Well, they have bells.
Oh, true.
Oh, actually no. We'll finish this one.
Do this
Yeah.
And we're gonna.
Can I? Oh.
Did you go outside?
Yeah.
Did you go outside? Please wait to vote until you hear both speeches.
Wait. Oh, wait. No, just kidding. No, look.
Please. Fine.
If you just walked in, you can get a ballot after. You can't vote.
Just that. Just that. Just that.
Hi everyone, my name is Melanie and I'm running for your internal public relations officer. This past year I served as ATV co-chair alongside Janine, and throughout the year we hosted a bunch of successful events. Success not being measured in the number of people that went to our events, but rather in the bonds and the lasting relationships that were created there. Being able to watch these relationships happen, but also to be able to be included in them is what drove me to run for this position today. I feel that my passion for Kapwa will allow me to draw new members into our community with excitement like past members did for us. So why choose me? As I mentioned before, I'm an active member of Kapwa in multiple branches. I even tried wrestling, and I actively attend events and try to rally enthusiasm. I am not afraid of confrontation as some of you know. And I use this skills to bring new members to Kapwa and also to keep strong relationships with the current members of Kapwa. I can also bring new and creative ideas to the table. And so, as you may or may not know, I really like acronyms. So, I introduced to you LEAD. And it stands for Link, Engage, Advertise, and Inform. I hope to go into more detail during my Q&A, but basically, the big idea is that I want to have Kapwa grow and branch out, so just leave it to me. Although I can be loud and silly at times, I also keep a line for professionalism. I still can get things done in an efficient and prompt way. So I hope that you guys can give me the chance to be your internal PR. If you give me this chance, I promise to do my best to keep that warm and family-like feeling in this group that we have here that we all love so much. So thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay, so my first question would be, how would you, what would you bring new or what would you bring new or create if you were elected internal pro?
Okay, so
other
I
than
guess
leads?
I'll show this.
Yeah.
I don't know really how it works. Okay, never mind. Maybe it'll- okay. Oh, okay. So, there's 4 things that I want to focus on. Wait, can I just say that this is a seed and this is it leads to a tree? Okay. Anyway, so I thought we'd start within first. Start like within just the staff first. So. Link stands for link different positions together. So I got this idea from Janine and her sister actually, and Fian. And so I thought it'd be cool to collaborate with her historians and the webmaster to promote events. Because I know Fian does, they do like mini photo shoots, I guess, to promote different events that they have with their different groups. And I think that's a cool way to not just include more of the staff and things, but I feel like historians and webmasters don't have enough opportunities to do things unless there's a big event or something. So I feel like this would be a way to integrate them into like in the planning process of it too, not just the actual event. And yeah, I think it would just be fun for the people in that group to also just take pictures, because who doesn't like pictures, And so that's the first thing that I focus on. And then the second one and the third one kind of go together. Engage the general body and advertise effectively and efficiently. So with engaging the general body, I like how you do the videos, but at the same time, I feel like they could do more to interact with people during them. And so, just to keep them, because we have all really short attention spans.
Yeah.
With just anything. So, and this looks to advertising. So, I actually have like an example, but can I show it?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So,
Press me.
This is a really rough thing, so don't. Okay. Oh.
Press activate.
Activate.
Press
Allow
allow.
now.
Allow me. Okay, Kapwa, 50 seconds to give you the upcoming news for the next week.
This is for past
On Tuesday, we come back from noon. AKB will be hosting Game Kanaba. It will be at 6:30 p.m. in Wonderland Auditorium. Come join and play some traditional games and have a last potluck with your friends and family. The Wednesday after is Kapwa's last GBF under this year's staff. 6:30 in Cudahy 207. We will discuss Relay for Life, Kapwa elections, and the new academic program. Outside of Kapwa, there will be a women's self-defense seminar on Tuesday at 7 in CFSU's Gardner Lounge, hosted by Karate Club and MSA Muslim Students Association. Karate Club will also be hosting a jiu-jitsu demonstration at 7 p.m. this Thursday in Potomac Lounge in Coffee Hall. Okay, that was it. More information on each event will be in the description. If you have any questions, let me know. See ya.
How long?
Sorry, I just want to explain it real quick, but basically I thought of like Snapchat, how they have like the big headlines, and then if you have more information, it's just like in the description. So there's both the video for people to just scroll through, and then the more information in the description. And yeah, that's what I meant by engage. I don't really like. I mean, I was thinking of doing like little game kind of things, like a little incentive maybe to get people to watch the videos. But that's pretty much what I meant by that.
Yeah. Now to be 4 minutes of staff questions. My first question is, I'm a new member at Loyola, and I'm a board trainer. You have 30 seconds to tell me what Kapwa is about, and then you join. Ready, set, go.
Okay. Hi, welcome to Kapwa. We're a Filipino American organization. So, do you like to dance? Do you want to have a family? I know it's hard to do you have any friends yet? We can be your friends. We also have really good people. We're just all really nice people, you know. So, if you want to start somewhere, start here with us. We also have a lot of fun events that we can do. You don't have to dance. There's not other things to it. Community service. We also have social justice, other things that you might be interested in. You can just do anything here at Kapwa. Academics is important. You're here for school, aren't you? We got you here.
So being internal pro, you are also kind of not responsible, implied responsibility of being alumni chair. How do you, so I've started kind of giving out information starting with that, but we need to build on it. So how do you plan to integrate that with your duties?
So I think something that would be cool for the alumni would be to have them visit us more and give what happens after Kapwa kind of thing. Because I think a lot of us here are focused on like what's happening in the now, or like, oh, we have so many events for Kapwa right now. And then I think something that I thought about at least is like, what am I going to do when I don't have these events? So I think it'd be cool to have them come and be like, this is what Kapwa did for me. This is what I did after Kapwa. So just to give them a gateway, I guess, to kind of think about it. I think it'd also be cool to have them just come for even our events, I think, so they can see where we're at too, because it's not just a one-way street, just for us to see, to learn from them. I think they would enjoy to see what we're up to too. So.
Thank you.
Three questions. First one is, I think LEAP is a great idea. How do you plan on keeping it forward? Moving forward with it, or you know what I mean? Like it's great to have that plan, but like, how do you plan on keeping it throughout your, your academic year as internal public relations officer?
You mean just implementing it?
Yeah. Like how do you? Yeah.
Okay. I think that's something that I have to talk with whoever is the historian. I mean, first they have to be willing to do that kind of thing, I guess. And it doesn't have to be, for every event if they aren't willing to do that. But I think it's how we go about like planning it. So how we have the form, or staff knows that we have the forms that we have to fill out. I think another aspect that can be added to it is if like the historian or webmaster, whoever wants to join in on that planning. It's like different from how we do it now, where it's like, do you want a historian there? I think it's like, do you have a sign of like, yes, I would like the historian to promote us, or have the historian not just be there like, at one time of the event, but to be there the whole time. So we can have more integration, just like pictures throughout, and pictures before, and pictures after. You know what I mean?
And then my second question, well, second and third, who is that Kapwa member in the ending of the video?
Oh, it's you.
I knew it. Okay, so seriously, so for the F portion, that is the biggest part of not the biggest part, but like something that as previous internal public relations and the ones sitting here, we've all tried to strive towards that, integrating and collaborating with other Loyola organizations. But how do you plan on? Do you have any strategies or any ideas on how to effectively collaborate with Loyola organizations?
Okay, so first I guess I would try to talk to you guys first, I guess, to see what worked and what didn't work in terms of that, just because I don't have a background on, what good I did or what, could work, but you didn't have the time to do. But from an outside perspective, just looking at it, I guess just being in more contact with the leaders, because even at the event that was yesterday for CSA and BSA, I don't know if how the communication is between all of the groups in COPA, because I feel like we're all under COPA, but not a lot of us communicate with each other. Maybe it's like two groups together, but then we're like, are separate kind of thing. So I think just making more of an effort to bridge the group's leaders, because I think it starts with all of us, So making sure that all the leaders are on the same page, so that maybe we can do more to bridge all of us together.
General body questions? Vicky?
How do you think you will address the very good questions, outreach? So outreach to the general body specifically, as effectively as you said, because sometimes we get too many things and we're really sometimes.
So all of my ideas are kind of like linked together, I guess. But yeah, we all have really short attention spans. We get a lot of messages of like the same thing. I love them. So personally, I think I'm gonna just try things out for semester and see, I don't know, maybe do like a survey, like what works best for you kind of thing. But also the use of Twitter, I think is gonna be good for just short announcements. Like we have this event, we have this event, we have this event kind of thing. Or just short and sweet announcements. That's like my video is 50-second long. Keep it that way. Just like big headline kind of thing. Making sure that, because I feel like whenever we're on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, you're scrolling through videos and if it's more than like a minute 30, you're like, unless you know it's really funny or something. But I don't know. I think just making sure that the big ideas are out there, and I feel like if it's a general consensus that you're gonna watch a video with just the big things, like if you want more info, you can talk to me kind of thing, is how it's gonna be. So I'm hoping that and also the little silly things that I plan on. I don't know, they're just fun for me. Just even guest compliment or whatever, little incentives, here you get a piece of candy, or I don't know, if you want to procrastinate, here you go. But I think just having an option for people to be like, hey, I wonder what silly thing Melody's doing today. I better watch the whole video and not skip to the end, kind of thing. Would be a way to engage everyone.
We have time for 2 more questions. So Chelsea?
Yeah, so the internal from webmaster always kind of collaborating with together. So I was wondering how we're going to collaborate with the future webmaster in the aspects of social media, because not only does the webmaster not only the designs there kind of the website, Twitter, not so much this year, but in the future, how do you kind of collaborate with the webmaster in those aspects?
So I think just promoting the website more, because I don't know how many of us know that we have a website or actually look at it, but we should promote it. And so my ideas for that, and I didn't know that you were in charge of Twitter, but I guess that could go to them since we have so much social media to be in charge of. But just advertising too, because I think that a lot of what goes on is
very concentrated on like Facebook to just the Kapwa group. So maybe like putting it more so on the website too for just like, the public, I guess. Because, and advertising it out to the public, because, I mean, just personally, all the stuff that I see for Kapwa is just on our page versus like, just in the World Wide Web kind of thing. So I think another thing that the webmaster could do is promote everyone to kind of be like, hey guys, here's our website, can you put it out there for everyone else to see kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, so one more question.
In our general bodies, we typically have a low turnout for upperclassmen. Typically, not hipster, but I have two scenarios for you. First one, you can probably answer them like both similarly or not, I don't know. But first one is like, I'm an upperclassman, I know there's a general body meeting, but I don't want to go anymore, I'm too old for this, what am I gonna gain from that? Like, just be a couple announcements on how to figure out in an email or something. And then you have the other bunch who are like, oh my God, I joined Kapwa my freshman year, and it was such a terrible experience. I was gonna do wrestle, but then this girl Chelsea Intal said my boyfriend.
I think that is a big problem with upperclassmen. It might just be like, we're busy or we're too cool for this with all the dudes, so they're gonna be there kind of thing. I don't know if this would work with the older group, but I don't know, but this is just an idea, like some kind. I buy it because I'm very competitive and like I just enjoy competitions. But anyway, like having, I don't want to say like a showdown kind of thing, but like little incentives to have like if you have like if more members of this class are there or whatever, you get something. Like I mean that's something that I have to figure out. But I think it'd be interesting to see how that plays out because I know that like when there's competitions, we get really fired up about it. But so that's the upperclassmen one. And she hates Kapwa, is that?
Yeah, there are people who like, I don't deal with this organization because they don't really, associate with it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like for those people, you have to start small. Like you can't just be like, hey, you gotta come to this big event for all of us, like, and it might work for some people to say like, hey, we have this huge event. But I think, and assuming you know this person.
Oh, this is just totally fake.
I'm thinking about this like for real. So assuming we know this person, we're gonna know their interests. And so we're gonna target in on that. And we're gonna be like, hey, this person needs athletics or something. Like, hey, look, I know that you like didn't have fun or whatever, but I really just need another teammate to help me beat these guys to submission kind of thing. And so I think it's just really like at that point you really have to cater to the individual more than like, oh, this person just hates Kapwa. You gotta think about a way to appeal to that individual.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
If you came in during the middle of the speeches, your ballot wasn't voted.
Yeah.
Good job. How long do you want to do?
What's the time? Huh? 7 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna take like a 5-minute break.
Thanks, Kaylee. Help me out.
We're gonna start at 8:48. If you're not here by 8:48, not going to the next one.
I'll collect your ballots, guys. Thanks.
Oh. Should I just recycle this as an extra? Because I accidentally left.
The only thing, Carly, the only thing I had about Melody Singing is she made us talk.
Oh, God. It's not over. Please come back.
Here, this is internal call.
Hello, viewers. Welcome. We are doing a 5-minute bathroom break. So yeah. Welcome.
Charlie, where'd you put your single pro? Huh? Please come back. Oh, we're not done yet. We're gonna try to run it more quickly.
You want to cut down questions now?
We need to move faster.
I already have all my questions out. For external, sorry guys. And I go for it. I'd rather have her say this.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be really tough on you. Well, you three. Hi, great job today.
We're gonna shorten it to 2 from the third position, 3 from staff, and 3 from the members. Okay, so 5. So 8 questions total.
Someone has to take some from here because Katrina has some questions.
Yeah, is it for treasure? Well, we're doing external.
I can talk for 2 questions.
2 questions from current, 3 from staff, 3 from the members.
2 from current?
Yeah. 3 from staff, 3 from. We gotta go faster.
Yeah.
We're behind by so much.
When we're supposed to get out?
9:30.
How many is there to go?
All equal.
Take a picture with Janine. Yes, we should. Where's that girl? Oh, okay.
Until we start. Everybody, take your seat. We're gonna get started in like 30 seconds.
Tell your friends to come back. Pet some. Once doors are closed, they can't come in.
Take your seats. We're starting, and we're gonna change it a little bit. So we're only gonna do when it comes to Q&A. Actually, just because we're running time schedule, we have like a lot more. But we're gonna do 2 questions from current, 3 from staff, and 3 from general members. So if you think your question is like really important, then feel free to ask. And this doesn't mean we're gonna lighten up on you. This might mean we're gonna get closer if you have questions written out. Okay, so.
Tell your friends to come back now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wait.
Sorry, y'all. It took over like 2 seats, so.
Does everyone have ballots?
I need one.
Oh.
I don't want.
Here.
I'm gonna get mine later.
How about you?
I'm good. I'll get mine after.
Are you gonna have it?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
They were very.
I have a headache. I don't have Tylenol.
No.
Anyone?
Ibuprofen?
Yeah.
Are you ready? All right, and begin.
Hello, Kapwa. My name is Maddie Ronquillo, and I'm running for External Public Relations Officer. I'm a sophomore majoring in Public Relations and Psychology, and I'm also a marketing intern for Clark's Productions, as well as a PR team leader helping Chicago Center of Conflict Resolution with their external communications plan. I've made communication programs for organizational use, a skill I would like to present to you now with this external PR plan. I believe the external PR plan, external PRO's mission is to help Kapwa maintain its mission through focused communication strategies. And I'd like to achieve this through 2 goals: forging strong relationships with our audiences and growing Kapwa's online image. I would like to introduce a few specific strategies in the speech. First, I would like to create an accessible monthly calendar including MAFA events and other relevant ones, especially in the Chicago community. Because traveling out of state can be difficult, especially with money and scheduling conflicts, I think it's important also to get out in the community within our reach. Second is to grow Kapwa's social media image. I would like to launch a LinkedIn group account for Kapwa. Allowing current and past members to connect via one special group can be beneficial in building a professional network and shared mutual events in and out of Kapwa. Second, in collaboration with the webmaster and whoever is the internal pro, I suggest integrating social media platforms via Hootsuite, which is a social media dashboard and allows us to consolidate and schedule our social media posts and receive analytic data from them. I'd also like to restart our Twitter for use in live tweeting our events with pictures and videos and sharing our mission statement and websites. These strategies can be measured through continual use and in data with the rise in attendance and social media likes, retweets, etc. And this is the timeline of how I've been carrying out specific tasks, separating into informational, social, and transactional tasks. Kapwa hosts so many social successful events, and each one has reminded me why I enjoy being a part of this organization. It's time for other organizations to be aware of our trends and collaborate with us as we step into the future. Thank you.
So I saw on your page you had stuff about MAFA. So how do you plan on being that liaison for MAFA and Kapwa?
So I think the big thing is that a lot of Kapwa members don't know that they're a part of MAFA just by being in Kapwa, and if they do know they're a part of MAFA, they don't know the scale to which it is. If you don't know, MAFA stands for Midwest Association of Filipino Americans, and it's a nonprofit organization, and it connects 22 schools with their Filipino student organizations, and that's huge. So what I would like to do is, especially starting with that sort of external calendar, I want to start internally by telling people that MAFA is a thing and it exists and we are all part of it just by virtue of being in Kapwa. And from there, sort of gain, and I think by making that calendar, I think that gaining interest in going on trips and organizing them would rise, and therefore we can build on top. But I would like to start internally with letting Kapwa members know that MAFA is accessible to us.
And then what are your strengths as a leader? Like what qualities about yourself you think you can contribute to staff and e-board?
So I think I'm a very proactive and committed person. I think whenever especially in the committees I've been in the past couple of years, whenever something needs to be done, I always volunteer to do it. And I promise to do it effectively and as efficiently as possible. Another thing is that I at least try to be as enthusiastic as possible. Kapwa has made such a big impact on me and my happiness and like how accepted I feel, and I think everybody deserves to feel that acceptance and happiness.
All right, so we have 3 staff questions. First question. So I am a head of an organization, or Filipino organization in the Chicago community. You have 30 seconds to convince me to sponsor Kapwa for an event.
So Kapwa is an incredible student organization, a part of Loyola University Chicago, and we host so many events from social justice to athletics to AKB, and we sponsor so many familial events. And I think a family atmosphere is what you need to, is what you should be able to, what you should want to sponsor. I think that being a family is something that's very near and dear to everyone's heart, and I think everybody that in your organization can get behind that and be a part of our Kapwa family.
Yeah. Okay, 2 more questions.
So being external, probably be working with whoever's your internal. How do you plan on sharing tasks that are shared, your responsibilities within being external pro in MAPA as well as your duties in Kapwa?
I think the best part about having co-pros is that if one of us gets really busy and doing things, we can take up the other person's tasks. And I would like to, especially whoever is my co-pro, I would like to sit down with them and have a meeting on what we envision for Kapwa, especially image-based, as I already talked about as public relations. And I'd also like to talk about our schedule and what we think would work best for us in meeting, as well as posting things on social media and sort of creating a general image so that whatever we post to our general members, the message is clear and concise and still the same to our external members, because we all need to be on the same page.
All right, any other staff questions? I have one. So how would you describe your image and your presence in Kapwa, considering that you're a public relations officer, and how does your image relate to the mission of Kapwa, and how do you exemplify that through being public relations?
Yes, I think definitely, this kind of ties into why I joined Kapwa. I didn't know what Kapwa was when I first joined. I was kind of peer pressured into doing it, you know, you are. And I didn't know what AKB stood for, I just kind of did it blindly, and throughout the past 2 years, I've never felt more accepted and in the family, and I think being so enthusiastic and accepted is the kind of image I want to project, and even though I can't do Rise Bowl because I'm totally going to get hurt, I want to be able to be enthusiastic at every single event, even though I can't play, I can attend, and I can be enthusiastic, and I can make posters and cheer you on, even though I can, you know, physically do the things that you do. And I can go to social justice workshops, I can go to community service, I can go to Relay for Life and be enthusiastic and proactive in everything that we do.
Thank you. One more staff? No? No? Okay, general body? All right, thank you.
Secretary or treasurer?
Secretary.
You're gonna infect everybody. You wear that mask.
Okay, next, secretary next. There's 2 of them, so we'll kind of go first. Then we'll set them aside.
Oh, I can call him.
Every time I'm in front of this camera, I pull my pants up, and so like half of me is like.
You still with us? You with me?
Yeah, Tiana said, "What up?"
Oh,
I'm
Tiana.
so sorry. How many people have seen my? You should have pulled my pants.
Are you collecting them?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it's not.
It's okay.
I have everyone.
Oh, we have to hand them out.
Oh, secretary?
Yeah.
Got your question?
I'll think of them.
I'll have some too. You only have 2, right?
Yeah.
If you have another one, come over here, write it down so I can
We all do everything that we can to help them.
Yeah, that's a good thing and bad thing.
Are they defined?
On the same people.
I have to abstain.
Oh, you're going to?
I can't do it.
I can't vote. I like the quote. I'm gonna abstain.
Oh, there's something you have to write that you have to.
Yeah, just write that you.
Here, you have one?
I don't have one.
Yeah.
I love them both, but I have to vote.
Damn it! Okay, we're taking a shot after this.
All right, we good?
Sorry.
No, I'm having a headache. That means I need wine.
Love you. You got this.
Where's my pen?
Hi, Kapwa. My name is Kevin Santos, and I'm a freshman major in nursing. Kapwa is a far-reaching and undeniably influential organization. Our organization is influential in that we can effectively educate and spread information about the Filipino culture and foster growth and connections. I strongly believe that our power is in being able to achieve our goals and improve our community comes not only from big events, but also from the work that goes into creating these events and making them successful. I believe that if I'm elected as secretary, I can bring many positive contributions to how our events and ideas change the way people think. I think that I can bring a lot to the table when it comes to showing Kapwa's values and traditions. I'm confident that my past experiences have honed my ability to organize my goals and manage my time efficiently. Some major experiences I've had in my freshman year include being a nursing major while deeply involving myself in Kapwa's culture with branch as part of the committee and becoming more immersed in the advocates branch. At the same time, I have been able to maintain a GPA high enough to retain my presidential scholarship. And I have also been able to develop and enrich my social connections in and out of Loyola. These experiences have taught me how important it is to effectively convey information in a timely manner, which is a key component in the secretary's job. I also believe that I can communicate clearly with different branches of Kapwa in terms of making room reservations, which is another expectation in this position. Kapwa has been the greatest highlight of my college experience so far, and it has changed me for the better in many ways. I feel that my growth would not have happened if it weren't for the leaders in Kapwa who put so much effort into developing wonderful programs. In addition to contributing to my personal growth as a leader and communicator, if I were to be elected, I would take this opportunity to help create the same type of life-changing programs and experiences for current members and future consultants. Upholding a high standard for excellence puts Kapwa in a position not to only teach, but show others the values like compassion, kindness, and unity that gives meaning to our name, Kapwa. Thank you for your time.
So, Kenneth, you're a gentle, young, hairy young man, and being a part of secretary, you're going to be working with upperclassmen, not just in board, but in committee as well. How do you expect, or how do you hold yourself and express your concerns, whether it is holding people accountable about meetings, holding people accountable about their committee work? You're going to be working with a lot of older people. How do you expect that conversation to go?
Well, I would obviously respect their age and their experience in whatever they do. But to me, the way that I see it is simply, if you have a job, I expect you to do it, and everyone else expects you to do it. I think that you should be held accountable for that job because you signed up for it, you applied for it, you got that job, and you should be held accountable for whatever you do. And your age should not matter. Like I honestly don't care if you're like 20 or 40 years older than me. If you're if you have a job and I understand what you need to do, and if I see that you're not doing it, I will call you out on it. Because in the big scheme of things, that's like having like a weak chain in a chain fence. Like we're only as strong as our what's it saying? We're only as strong as our weakest chain, and we can't have any like we have to be able to trust in people and trust in their ability to do their job properly and to a high standard.
Okay. And then I have one last question. In terms of Kapwa and our mission, what can you contribute in terms of in the future? How do you see Kapwa in the next 3 years of your career?
Well, in terms of traditions, I feel that the way that I envision Kappa there would certainly be some things that would stay the same. Like, for example, the AKP program. I think that that's so central to who we are and what we do, and that that's like the foundation of the connections that we have with other people. So things like that, like definitely I think should and would still remain in Kappa. But over time, as new leaders come up and as we see the imperfections in like current systems that we have, we can always improve upon like how we do things, and we can always make things better. And so it's even like, I imagine an even better future for the Bunsos like 3 or 4 years from now. Like I can't even imagine what they're gonna go through compared to what we're going through right now. And I hope that ideally they would be going through a much like better, much more fun, much more interactive experience with Kappa.
Okay, staff questions?
So as secretary, a lot of responsibility within staff is to, oh my gosh.
I just stared at it.
So a lot of responsibility and expectation as your role is to maintain that administrative side to hosting events and making sure everything goes as planned. And that could be a lot of responsibility. So how do you plan on managing with everything that you're doing outside of Kapwa and inside of Kapwa and your major and your role as secretary? How do you plan on managing all that to make sure that all staff's events in terms of like room reservations, activity requests will be processed and communicated efficiently?
So I would like to take this opportunity to become a better leader. And I understand that I may not be like the perfect like type of leader, but I think that in my opinion, I've definitely exhibited in my experience traits that would allow me to successfully take care of any problems that we have in the future. And basically the way that I would approach things is break down the big problems that we have into smaller components and just prioritize everything and just be able to organize what we need to do, be able to do it in a timely manner when it needs to be done. And yeah.
Seth? So you said in your speech that you want to change the way people think. How are you going to do that?
I think that right now, Kapwa does. When I said that, I wanted people's thinkings to change, I mean in terms of their awareness and knowledge of the Filipino culture. Because at our core, that's one of the main things that we are trying to do here. We're trying to spread the awareness of our culture, spread the values that make up the very essence of our group, like familial ties, friendships, community, kindness, stuff like that. I think that at our current state, I think that we're doing a great job of, through our events like the Simon Formal, I think we're doing a great job of changing the way that people think, like giving them a new perspective on things that they may not have known about. And I think that we're doing a great job of that right now, but I would just like to continue to do that and to maybe even like expand it to an even wider audience than what we did this year. And that's
One more staff question. Okay, general line.
You said something, you seem very passionate about holding accountability. How do you make sure that everybody on staff is held accountable for their jobs, and what would you propose to do if someone is not doing their job to the best of their ability?
Well, in terms of just checking how they're doing their job, obviously I know it seems like simple, but like I would just check the very definition of what they're supposed to do, like their job description, like literally just do that, and then compare their activity to like how previous people have held that job, like have successfully done their jobs in their years. You know, maybe compare what they're doing, quote unquote, wrong that makes them like an ineffective leader or something that's like something that they're doing wrong. And in terms of approaching them, that was your second question, right? In terms of approaching them, I think that it would be a good idea to bring up these issues in the weekly staff and board meetings. And I think they're really helpful in terms of, and I just want to emphasize that I believe in open and honest and blunt communication. And like, if we don't communicate with each other, then it's just increasing the number of blocks that we have to get through to solve our problems. That won't do anything. So the very whole point of having an e-board and staff and having these meetings is the whole point is to be able to communicate with each other, to identify the problems that you have and to solve them. And you know, this is like a professional environment. We should be able to address these issues without taking it personally, without having any pettiness and stuff like that. And I believe that if they are worthy of that job, they will treat it with professionalism. And that's what I believe.
Question. Being that you're just now a freshman, and one of the responsibilities that people don't really like, it's not a job description, but with the board is cultivating leadership within the organization. And how do you plan to cultivate leadership with incoming freshmen and people considering that you have just started becoming a part of the organization?
Well, I can say that definitely in this past year, like I've completely changed in terms of my leadership abilities, my ability to speak in front of people. Like 2 years ago, like I would not have been able to do this right now. Like I would probably just like be like stuttering the whole time. And I think that in the short amount, even in the short amount of time, it's definitely been evident that people can change. And people can change for the better. They can improve. They can become better leaders, become more effective at what they're doing in terms of their job. And even though next year, as a sophomore, I would still encourage the Quinsos to become involved in what they want, like truly find their passions and don't ever stop like pursuing that passion, because we are trying to build up like leadership positions, and we are trying to change people for the better. Like not just get better grades, get a better job, but to actually change who they are for the better. And I believe that in terms of leadership positions, I think leadership programs can have a great impact on how that would be accomplished.
Any other general body questions? All right. Thank you so much.
All right, ready? And begin. Hello, Kapwa. My name is Melissa Aristoza, and I am running to be your future secretary. I have done behind-the-scenes work in weeks for NIM and Kapwa advocates, helping the chairs to make NIM and Kasama Promo as great as they were this year. I'm also currently an intern for this year's Kapwa Fashion Show, which probably almost all of you know since I spam your emails with reminders and information about fashion show literally every day. But I've also helped contact sponsors and possible headliners and overall make communication with the models and stylists on their duties. And I hope to bring clear and open lines of communication to the decision secretary, which requires the ability to adapt and communicate effectively not only with the e-board, but also with staff. However, I feel that sometimes things get lost in translation electronically. A plan of mine is to meet up with our committee chairs from advocates to athletics face-to-face once a month to discuss any big events they may have throughout the month. That way, when I'm reserving rooms for such events, I have a clear and concise image of what the community needs and also have time to make changes. I will also make it a goal of mine to make sure any important information pertaining to Kapwa will be communicated to the general body through social media and email. I plan to work with our internal and external PROs to make sure this information is shared not only with the general body members, but also with Kapwa, and helps to increase our presence in the office. These ideas will hopefully help make reserving rooms and communicating information to the general body run a lot smoother, And my goal at the end of the day, if I'm elected as secretary, is to cater to the needs of our staff, e-board, and general body as best as I can. Kapwa has provided me with so many amazing experiences and relationships, and I definitely aim to give back to the community that has given me so much. Thank you.
A question from the last secretary. So, as you know, like the secretary, they deal with a lot of room reservations, they deal with a lot of keeping the board organized. However, there can be a lot of mishaps and miscommunication. In addition, unable to get the rooms that we always need because there are, 100 clubs within Loyola. How do you address that issue, and how would you deal with not being able to find space for, let's say, I don't know, cultural or advocates?
I think, like I said, keeping open lines of communication with all committee chairs. I definitely want to establish a relationship with every single committee chair and understand what they need. So if last minute a room is taken or another club suddenly gets it, which I have encountered as working as an intern under Kayleen, is to talk to the committee chairs. Don't be afraid to ask them like, hey, and don't be afraid to say, hey, this room got taken. What are your other preferences? Like, could you adjust? And always just be open to changes.
In addition to being secretary, there's also the e-board aspect in terms of planning and planning symbology, and that will take a toll on your academic life and what you do. How can you ensure the general body that your work is going to be committed and dedicated toward that time?
I feel like overall, just understanding from the get-go that I do need to balance my responsibilities. My academics are important, but my commitments are also important. And I feel that communicating to the general body that I am always there and I'm always open to discuss any changes, anything that they need. I am always there, no matter if I'm stressed, no matter if I'm overwhelmed with academics. I am always there to be there, to be a resource for them.
Yeah. Okay. And in addition to that, the e-board, we strive to build leaders. What skills do you have, and how can you build a leader?
I feel overall, as a leader, and I've learned, I guess, through my experiences in Kapwa, on how I am a leader. I think overall I'm very supportive, and I'm always willing to volunteer to do things that, I'm always the first one to volunteer to do something for someone, and I feel like I'm a very compassionate person, and I feel like that characteristic really helps me to be the leader that I am, and reaching out to others and being open with others, and just overall communicating with others.
Okay. Staff questions? Everett?
Can you describe in 3 words your personal Kapwa experience?
My personal Kapwa experience?
Just 3 words.
Family, love, and acceptance.
Carly. So you're also running for advocates. So if you hypothetically got both positions, how would you be able to handle it?
I feel that overall, both positions are very important in section with Kapwa. Every single position in Kapwa matters. And I feel that understanding at the get-go that I do have my limitations and I do have my weaknesses, but also that I do have the co-chair that I'm running with, and I have the ability to communicate with them and be open with them and rely on them when I do need help and when certain tasks for secretary do become overwhelming, but never letting those tasks take precedence over the other commitments that I do have.
Nice. Another staff question?
Just elaborate more on that question. I know you said you were friends as well as secretary, and looking at your cover letter. So you've never really had like a main position, but like this is at the e-board, but you're going to be on staff as well. So looking at that, coming in with experience as a committee, but then having this higher position, how are you gonna handle like both? I know you were talking about like having your co-chair to rely on, but for example, if you have an advocates meeting and then an e-board meeting, and then you also have maybe the schoolwork to do, how do you plan on prioritizing?
I feel that, I guess, discussing with the e-board and talking to staff and just letting them, I guess, know that I do have, not that I do have other things going on, but I will make it a point to be present at every single thing, even if I can't be there for the whole time. So I do have an advocates meeting or an e-board meeting at the same time. Like I will go to the e-board meeting for half of it, but then I will go to advocates. And I will also obviously let e-board and Matt, who I'm running with for advocates, know ahead of time that I will be doing that. And just overall, not really letting how overwhelmed I am show overall.
General body questions? All right, so we're good. Thank you so much. And we'll move on to the next.
Janet, did you get a ballot? Huh? Did you get a ballot?
For what? For the next
vote,
one?
for secretary.
No.
Melissa? We can vote.
You have ballot, okay.
You can bring them over here, hand
All right,
them
I'll
someone
have
to
them.
bring them over here. Oh, and give it to him too.
Okay, so there are only 2 positions left. It's just treasurer, and then we're gonna do the president VP one after. So Rum's left.
Just give it to Carly.
Wait, where did, oh, thanks. Where did she put the paper? Does she have it? Marielle, do you have the paper for the questions?
Oh yeah, I do.
Sorry.
Why are there donuts everywhere?
Sorry. Where did Bomina get them? It was also a good one to ask.
Anyone else?
Treasurer.
Sorry, I'm gonna.
Apparently that was a Catholic house.
I'm hungry for this now.
Yeah.
These are the questions. I don't answer them if you guys don't have anything to ask. I'm asking these 2, so if you guys can ask one of these, if no one else asks. This one's about fundraising.
Is there one about?
Thank you.
Ask him more questions.
You can ask that. Oh, no, ask that first and then. Because of this, she did
I go first.
And you can begin. Hello, everyone. I'm Kayla. I'm a sophomore accounting major, and I'm running for Kapwa Treasurer. I am also currently an accounting clerk for Innovative Consulting Services. So basically, I learned how to handle money, and I do handle money as my job. I'm a very driven, hardworking, and organized person, and I would love to be your next Kapwa Treasurer. I know that treasurer is a great responsibility, but I'd love for the challenge to take on this position. I currently went through the internship program under our current treasurer, Katrina Lynn. She's not here right now. And she taught me the ins and outs of being treasurer, which some of those include reimbursing receipts for items such as food that we have at our capital events, and also creating budget request forms and documents that we need for our big events like NIM, Casamo Formal, Savannah Bean. And one of the most important aspects I learned from that is that deadlines are important. If we don't have these deadlines, if we're not in, like, with these deadlines, then we don't get the money. Me being an organized person, I rarely ever miss a deadline. In my experience as accounting, I have learned to handle large amounts of money, like receiving it and like also paying it out. So I feel like those experiences could go on towards being a treasurer. And also as an accounting major, making a profit is also a big deal for us. So I would like to maintain a steady like balance going into our Kapwa account. I would love to be your next treasurer, and this organization is something I'm very passionate about. So I'm ready to take on the next step as a Kapwa member and have this leadership position. Thank you for listening. I hope you can be your treasurer.
Yeah, so Katrina's not here, but she left us a long list of questions.
Yeah. And I was treasurer too, so.
Yeah, it's really
So the first question is, what made you want to run for this position, specifically treasurer?
I wanted to run for this position because now that I switched over to accounting, I realized that like this is what I'm good at. This is what I like to do, and like even though like sitting at a computer crunching numbers all day, it doesn't seem fun to everyone, but it really isn't that bad. And like I feel like my experiences like working as treasurer can also like help me like in the real world when I do have like a real accounting job.
Okay, and then second question is, how do you plan on keeping track of this organization's finances? So currently, Katrina has a list, and we have cash, and she keeps it in a safe. So half the cash goes into Saga, which is our account, and then half of it she keeps. So how do you plan?
I know that she keeps half of it. I don't know what the guidelines are, but like I kind of don't like the idea of like having cash just laying around my house in a safe. I know it's in a safe, but like I like the idea of having it in like a savings account, like opening up like an account like at a bank. And I don't know like what the guidelines are for that, but for like I know like for a savings account or like a debit account, you don't technically need to have a card. So like if you ever need to get money out of that, you actually have to physically go to the bank and like say, hey, this is the account. I want to take out this amount of money, and then they give it to you. And I'm learning more and more with Excel. So Excel spreadsheets are becoming more easy for me. So I feel like that's how I would keep up with finances.
Sorry. So we know that you've been through the internship program with Katrina, and we were wondering what you've learned from it outside of the responsibilities that are given as treasurer. What other things have you learned from Katrina in regards to the internship program?
I've learned that like taking the next step in Kapwa, like taking on like a leadership position, to not be scared about it. Because I know last year I wanted to run for a leadership position, but then like I like chickened out and like just didn't do it at all. She told me that like taking this next step is like really important, and like it can better me as a person. It can help me grow.
So what would you do if you were denied funding?
If I were denied funding, I would try again. I forgot the terms for it. I forgot. Like, I know that we have stock funding and like RSO funding. I know you can appeal for it again. So that's like how I would go about it. If I didn't get that funding, then like I would have like other resources. Like say like I would like ask like whoever the fundraising chair is, I would kind of work with them to see if we can fundraise the money for our events.
Okay, let's say a committee on staff asks for money to fund an event or whatever, but we don't have the means to. How would you just handle that situation? Explain to them that we can't give them any money.
If we don't have the means for it, then we can't give it to them. Like I would have to tell them like, hey, we have this amount of money. We can't give you your full amount. I could talk to the rest of our people and see what we can do to help you. We'll also like think of like other ways, such as like fundraising. I know like maybe we could like table something else. Because I know we only do like one tabling event, which is our egg rolls. Maybe we could do something else to like bring awareness to the event, as well as like try and get funding.
Any other staff questions? Vicky?
I know you recently joined sorority, and do you expect to take leadership in that?
I don't expect to take leadership in my sorority. I'm still I'm kind of going in I'm not going in at first with my sorority, but I'm gonna try do as much as I can. But Kapwa I can. And but the people who know me, they know why I love Kapwa so much.
Oh no, don't start that. I cannot. No. We are all very sentimental here.
Ugo had one.
Oh God.
There's not enough tissues here.
I was just curious about if you had met with anybody from SADA before you were handled anything, exchange meetings, because sometimes it can be stressful meeting with people from SADA and then telling you that, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah, have you ever?
I have not SADA, but I know Katrina could be I could go to her and be like, hey, how do I take on this? Because you've had this position before, so what did you do to what did you do to yeah, I lost it. To overcome this problem. And I was when he worked on.
General body questions?
You guys.
Anything? Any more from Katrina's list? Are we good? Good? All right, thank you so much, Taylor.
I know, I'm trying. I could die. Why'd you start that, Taylor?
Normally, that wouldn't be a good. Normally, that wouldn't be a good answer. But.
Jesus, I'll take them.
Questions will change for this. Irene and I are kind of going to drill for a while, and then we'll open up to everyone
I literally have 9 questions. I just asked some questions. I just asked everything in 2 minutes. Wait, a minute? I see Charles rolls his eyes. I'm like, I am done.
Oh, wait, did we pick up?
Do we collect? No, we're so excited.
You need to vote.
Where's treasure?
Yeah, because she started it. To not with her. Where the other one?
Do it, don't do it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be really mean to them. I feel really bad.
No, don't feel bad. I'm ready to ask questions.
Did everyone get the vote for it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, did you guys? Are we done passing out? Or
No, Mary else is.
Okay.
Are those ballots?
I don't know.
Do we have everyone's ballots for treasurer? Okay.
Oh, really? This
Well, y'all better be ready for it. Let's go sit over there.
Alright, so yeah, like Mariel said, questions are appreciated this time, but you guys will have to speak. And so are you ready? And
Hello everyone, my name is Charlie.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Harley.
And we're running as co-presidents, and then Nicole is our vice president.
So just more introductions. I'm a junior nursing major. Wow. The current position that I hold right now is external, but I also held treasurer and community service.
My name is Charles Espinito, call me Charlie. I'm a junior as well, studying environmental science. My current role right now is vice president, but I also have roles as the internal public relations officer my sophomore year.
And I'm Nicole Colastro. I'm currently a sophomore. I'm an exercise science major, and my current role is fundraising chair.
So we're going to go into a little bit of our platform for this upcoming year. Our platform will be called Paloming Gwina Isang Dalao, which translates to 3 stars in the sun. And you want to know what that means?
The flag.
Flag! So we're using that as a visual. So you have the 3 stars. And we're going to embody each star with certain characteristics that we want to implement for the entire school year. So one of the stars will be the identity aspect. The second star will be togetherness. The third star will be awareness. And hopefully we can use these attributes to integrate into our entire Kapwa experience, not just something. We're not doing this to have something flashy, but it's something that is actually practical for the next upcoming year.
So the first one is identity. So that's your own personal journey to self-discovery. So it can be incorporated in ways like reflection or stepping outside your comfort zone, things that you haven't tried before that you'll learn more about yourself.
The next is togetherness, so obviously that's bonding with each other, helping each other through situations, expressing your feelings towards a certain committee, and also like going off of identity, but you want to experience new opportunities. You want to start doing cultural dancing. You want to start doing rice bowl, and then obviously standing in solidarity.
The final aspect is awareness. So it's the awareness of your beliefs and values as well as your cultural identity and cultural awareness. So the events that we do throughout the entire semester will also have a component that focuses on the awareness aspect and intentionally creates some sort of new site to something that you're not experiencing before. It can be big or small. So if it's Kapwa advocates, you'll have obviously awareness with the cultural issues that are involved with Filipino experience, but it also can support with dodgeball night, where you're actually meeting with other people and you're aware of, wow, I really like hanging out with people. These people are who I find friends because we can do stuff like that. So it can be big and small, those great news. And then awareness is important in order for our growth in our own identity. So it's a learning process throughout the entire time as you're in Kapwa.
So the platform, the reason why we came up with this, it's very simple. We didn't want anything too complicated. We wanted to give structure to everything that we're doing, so we give meaning. And so every journal body meeting will follow this structure. We have to tackle identity, togetherness, and awareness. So that way, everything will work out.
Yeah. Every journal body meeting, every event that any staff member has, all will have to involve these key stars.
And our vision for this upcoming year is creating a sense of belonging. So through the 3 stars, identity, togetherness, awareness, we want every individual in Kapwa, whether you're Uzo, Ate, Kuya, every staff member to feel like as if Kapwa is their family and belonging in this work.
So, quick recap of everything that's going on. So, identity.
So identity, so again, it's reflecting on your own experiences. So for example, if this was a general body meeting and there was a workshop, then maybe a reflection piece can be incorporated as an activity.
And then togetherness, for example, like going to rice bowl, not necessarily playing in rice bowl, but just being with other Kapwa members, supporting our teams, and just bonding with other members of Kapwa.
Awareness, your Filipino American values, awareness of your own cultural beliefs and as well. We kind of do this within our staff as well to implement that through heavy mentorship. The purpose is so that we have everything, we get meaning in everything that we do. And our vision is to cut down those barriers in Kapwa. So thank you so much.
we will be working very closely together throughout the year. And we've had the privilege of working together for 3 years, and then also with you too. How do you guys see each other and how you work together? Where do you see the others lacking, and where do you compensate for each other?
Yeah. So I think with Nicole, obviously me and Kevin have been on executive board for 2 years now, and we have a lot of experience. And with Nicole, she might not have that experience as well, but we both agree that for these upcoming weeks and then heavily influenced over the summer is that we mentor and we make sure that we're providing our experiences and properly giving insight. So, where Nicole might not have the most development experiences, but we're confident in our roles that we can provide that leadership for.
And going off that, like Charlie said, I'm open to all the mentorship that I can get. Of course, I'm transitioning from a staff position to an e-board position. So it's up to myself and being a proactive person to go and learn about all the ins and outs of Kapwa, all the ins and outs of Saga, and being that liaison to not just like our staff members, but also to all of Kapwa. Because again, like we're choosing, the general body is choosing our leaders, and I feel as if that a person should be, that is holding a leader position should be that person to learn their own organization.
So going off of that, as you said, mentorship, so this entire board is going to be new besides me and Charlie, so mentorship is going to be key. And then also answering your question, yeah, I've been working with Charlie for 2 years, so I know that he's like a better public speaker than I am, and I'm more logistical, so I know we can work to each other's strengths and weaknesses. And then for Nicole, I know she works in fundraising there, so I've seen what she's done. She's done putting together the egg roll sale and getting people to help her. She's been very proactive about that. So again, mentorship is what we're going to do.
Can you elaborate on how your positions on staff have practiced the positions we're running for today, and how they can help you develop? How these experiences can help you develop as leaders?
So my sophomore year was community service chair, and I was treasurer. I initially ran as community service chair because I had a passion for service and I had a passion for leadership. I went to a conference where I saw leaders from all around the nation, and they inspired me to want to build leadership with other people. And by having a leadership position at Kapwa, I can really connect with other people and develop leadership with them. So I continued my role with going and e-board and doing everything else because I believe in leadership. And having a title does not mean that you are a leader. Anybody can be a leader with a title.
As for me, initially last year I did run as an internal public relations officer, and when I did not receive that position, a lot of members told me, Nicole, we saw your leadership being on the cultural committee throughout the year as a Russo, and it encouraged me, it really helped me to be that person to run for fundraising chair. Not only because, I don't have competition, of course I'm gonna get it, but the fact that stepping up, being that person when it wasn't initially my intention to be that, I found leadership through that, and my first event being the Bank of America Marathon, socializing, gathering people, and leading that group taught me a lot about being on staff, as well as going through staff meetings and reaching out to everyone else.
And for me, I ran as internal public relations officer my sophomore year and vice president this year. Kapwa is just embedded in me. I mean, everything I do, I always draw back to my experiences in Kapwa, and I have this inherent sense of fostering community, and I see it every day. Every event that our staff members do, they have so many great relationships bonding. Maybe I'm not interacting with them, but at least I see it. People are having fun. People are gathering meaning in everything that we're having in our events. And it takes those kind of people as leaders to foster that sense of community, that sense of Kapwa. And that's why I never want to let that die. We will work together to make sure that that is passed down for many years and many years after us. But
just that community togetherness is something that I look for. That's what I want to continue.
What do you think in this past year you have done well with, and what do you think you need to improve on? Which is really important as a leader, you always constantly improve, especially if you're going to be president and vice president, to really give the best that you can to the general members.
I think for me, something that I really constantly try to push myself is to listen to others, and to really be in the moment, see what people have to say, their intentions. And I think that has done a lot for me because usually I'm very idea oriented, and when I have an idea in my head, I kind of want to really continue with it. But learning from other people and seeing what they have to say and what they believe in has inspired me to really, take criticism and then also other ideas that I might not have thought of before. And I think that's something that I will learn throughout this year's in particular. Hopefully I can create a habit of speaking out and sharing my idea, but also integrating other people's ideas to create this one that works for everyone.
A strength, I guess, this year would be that I didn't want to stick to what I had as my duties listed in the Constitution. I went above and beyond. I helped with cultural, even though I wasn't asked to, I just did it because I wanted to. Like reaching out to my liaison, so like athletics and community service, and checking in with them, like where are you, how are you guys feeling, that kind of thing. Something that I think I can improve on is using my voice and speaking up when I feel something is wrong, even though it goes against the public opinion. Unless you give me
I would say a weakness for me this past year was definitely, as Charlie and Carly have talked about it, but it's a matter of being present within Kapwa events. And I know myself as a fundraiser too that I could have definitely done more events, not only just like the aerosols and Bank of America, assisting cultural like with t-shirts and everything, but I definitely could have done more with that. And I seek improvement because it is a big part of Kapwa. It is involvement, identity, togetherness, and it's all awareness. A strength for me this year was definitely gaining growing as a person, growing as a leader. It was my first year holding a leadership position in Kapwa, so I definitely was able to grow as a person.
This is for Nicole. So at this point for this position, we deal with a lot of internal and external conflict. Everything kind of goes to the president and vice president, and then to and Charles really kind of deal with it. So how would you plan on dealing with that conflict?
Definitely, I would want to keep an open communication within e-board and also staff. So I would deal with it as how best I can to my ability. Obviously, I would seek mentorship from Charlie and Carly, again, because it is going to be my first year on e-board. But I definitely would want to play out, or not just play out, but work out the solutions of what can happen, seek other adjustments or adapting to what could possibly happen.
Being a county board, especially presidents and vice presidents, they go through the bulk of any issue that can happen in Kapwa. And you'll probably go through things you'll never expect you'll go through in your whole entire life, but you do. So how do you think that you'll be able to handle any situation that occurs that can test your values, that can test your relationships with other people in the organization? And how do you plan on taking care of yourself if these issues do arise?
I think for this year, definitely taking care of myself would be priority, and taking care of the people that are supporting me. I think with everything that whoever is on board and staff I think is the biggest thing is to take care of them and make sure that everyone, one, is on the same page and also understands what everyone is going through, to break down those barriers of preconceived notions or hidden agendas, maybe, if you will,
But make sure that everyone can really support each other before tackling the issue. And in terms of handling an issue, I would say it's kind of hard to determine that, but with everything that has happened before, I think we are equipped to, be there and like work on it. Maybe we might not handle it efficiently or effectively, but we will be there to tackle on an issue and work through it.
But we're not superhuman. We know that we can't always handle every single situation that comes up. So that's what Oscar is for. That's what our advisor is going to be for, and Saka, and past presidents too.
Okay, so the integration with Keyboard City, new staff, are there any improvements that you feel need to happen that you are going to implement for everyone here that's your staff?
So the thing we want to do next year is implement bi-weekly meetings instead of one-month meetings, so that we have it already planned out that, this week we're going to be meeting, we're going to meet like the first and third month of every month, so that way it's already in your calendar. So the only excuses like that you can have are emergencies, family meeting, or exams. So every concern is set, so that's what it happens.
Like, I think with that, it'll be very consistent enough so that we do have a good communication with our staff to make sure that it's effective, that improvements are needed, or something needs to be done immediately.
And then going off the calendar, we want to have one day, probably at our retreat, where we're planning out every single practices, events that you're going to be hosting with your own staff. General body meetings will be set. Everyone will know the dates already, so that expectation will be set and first the start. So there won't be like 2 weeks before the board trying to scramble to plan the next general body meeting or planning this.
So we'll launch more in the whole that. So my question is, you did mention the advisor, what are your plans for involving the advisor? Yes, and how involved is he going to be?
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know who we're talking about, his name is Mark Anthony Florio. He was a speaker, keynote speaker at Kapwa Loyola, and he's a first and second year advisor in the office of first and second year advisor. It's not set in stone yet, but we are in a transition to change Jerry as an advisor, and someone that we can work with as an active advisor as well, someone that we can use as a resource in terms of what for us, like we're doing a building experience workshops, we'll reach out to him for the cultural aspect, and provide that for that chair. For cultural dancing, maybe you can get some resources on this Steve where you can provide some insights in that. And also for internal factors as well for the campus staff, how we can improve on that, because he was on his board at his alma mater. So we can be a good resource in that aspect to make sure that we're doing these as efficiently and effectively as we can. I'm sorry, my throat.
What's your legacy? So the vision that we had was create a sense of belonging. So when we were thinking about this, we were remembering our freshman year when we came into Kapwa, and it was just a simple, I found a community that can accept me for who I am. I have a place where I know if I want to try something or learn something new about myself, that I will be accepted and loved for who I am in my life. And so that's what we want to do. Something simple. Bring it back to why we love Kapwa. And then when we leave, looking back and saying, I wouldn't have done anything else.
And then same goes for me, honestly. I was in their freshman year, but last year as a freshman, this is where I found my family. This is my home. I've always wanted to stay, and I plan to stay connected to Kapwa because this is the base of my college career. This is like how I met so many people. But yes.
And then a lot of our work will also go towards mentoring with not only our e-board, or not only with the co, but not only our e-board, but with all of staff so that we can create that sustainability aspect of creating that sense of belonging so that the fostering relationships that we have this year can continue on the next year, the year after that, and the year after that, where we will come back home and oh my gosh, we're still invited, we're still accepted, even though we're old. So that's the mission for us.
Everyone?
I have two questions. It's kind of a sensitive topic, but so in terms of Kapwa Loyola, it doesn't matter what happened, but a huge portion of them, decided they wanted to leave and do their own thing. In terms of the situation, like yes, things could have been handled or whatnot, depending on one person's opinion, but how can you ensure the general body that another committee won't want to secede from our organization? And how can you ensure to us that it's more than just our own agendas and that it's about the general body itself?
So, we can't promise that something like that won't happen in the future again. We can only learn from the mistakes that we made in the past and keeping that open communication. It was, but
It was a hard situation for sure, and we learned a lot from what had happened. But we want to make sure that every committee that we're talking with, that especially with the committee, the staff that was here, they were so open, so accepting to that, and we want to make sure that we can get that establishment of acceptance and open communication and really understanding our intentions and making that communication clear to make sure that that can't happen. But again, as Carly said, we can't predict the future, but we can for sure help try to prevent that from happening again.
It's pretty much just assuring that we are here, like we're here for the betterment of all of Kapwa, and that we're trying to improve as well. So basically just saying that we're there for people that we're trying to grow with.
it's also looking at what did we do wrong and what can we do to better ourselves.
Then, my last question. In terms of your staff and their general well-being, I know we had our liaison system about, splitting up the board and trying in terms of we were able to be meeting and having these committee meetings. There was a discrepancy of within the board, I didn't know that they're having this event and that event. What would you do to change that liaison meeting to make sure everyone knows what's going on? Because I feel like if we're only with one liaison, that means I don't know when advocates is having their meeting. I know when I'm having myself, but I don't know when AKB is going to be doing their thing.
They got me. Sorry. To go back to our platform and our speech was to actually have those bi-weekly meetings, and that's in hopes that we would need that advocate, e-board members to act as advocate liaisons for other people so that we can have that open communication. But if in need of someone to go to as a liaison, we do have a position that will be committed to that.
So a part of what we talked about is having me as a advocate for all other staff members, so that all communication will eventually go to me, and if there is any miscommunication, I will be the person to express that, say what's going on, this is what is happening, and I would definitely keep that all organized to make sure that no mishaps.
So my question would be that we all obviously want to get someone with a problem, do better than their problem, right? So what, for each of you, what or who inspired you
Wait, the president or just the leadership in general?
leadership in general?
We have to. In Kapwa? Yeah. Okay. Or in general? Oh, in general. Oh, I need
Okay, well, I'm first. This might sound weird, but it was Charlie. Yeah, never told this. I remember going in as a freshman to the org fair, and I was like, I've heard of Kapwa because of past high school people. I didn't really know what it was. I would see like around just Facebook pictures with Clea Eli. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But Charlie was the very first person that I talked to in Kapwa, and I was like, just looking at their poster, and I was like, okay. But then he started talking to me, and I was like, okay, put my email down. Went to the first general body meeting, and then I heard rights bowl, I heard culture, I heard modern. I was like, yeah. So definitely Charlie inspired me to become a leader, and since he had a position of internal pro, I was like, I want to be a
Well, for community service, the person who inspired me to want to run was my older sister. She encouraged me to do more social justice, to break out of my shell, to do things that I probably wouldn't do if someone else did give me that push. So she's my inspiration for doing how I got started. But Auntie Jane also was the one who wanted me to get, she gave me a lot of inspiration to keep going. She helped me a lot when I was treasurer. I did not know what I was doing. And she would take the time out of her day to just help me get everything together and make sure that I was taking care of myself, that my self-care was important. And I just want to give that back to all the people that
And then for me, initially it was my aunties, Ada and Kyla. If anyone doesn't know this, my first semester was a shit show. It was so bad, and I did not have the GPA to run, or really, I didn't have, I should have taken care of myself first, but this is what my passion lies. And so they were the ones to tell me, if that's what you really want, and that's where your heart is, and go for it, and try it out, talk with the board to see what you can work up. And then after that, there was a lot of people that have influenced my leadership more. I would say the persons that were influencing me the most would definitely be this board that I've been working with right now, because there's just a relationship there that we can provide that professionalism and that personal, that hybrids everything together to create this community that is really important and that we've been able to accomplish so far. And so I would say that's for the next year's our main goal, and really any leadership to provide that relationship there, foster that membership.
Any other questions? Nikki and then Chelsea?
On a more serious note, as you guys have said before, you brought up the overall you have to come and see what being of the general population. How do you think you can address some previous issues that we've had with connecting to now less serious or less, okay, they're both serious, but like things like the academics, as we've got them in the chair, academics, but also things like alcohol abuse and things that people are not going to go on about.
At least for academics, we realize it's a new committee chair, and we work with them to make sure that we have expectations set and guidelines, and what their plan is for the year, what their goals are, and how we can reach those goals. So we work with them with that. As for alcohol abuse and other sensitive topics, again, going back to our mentality of open communication and speaking with one another, definitely try to foster that, whether it's at a general body meeting or if we can work with staff to address that issue. Hopefully we can get that in that kind of outlet so that topic can be covered.
So we can also discuss the going into international relationships and neighborhood with upperclassmen. So
for example, this Ada, who's a junior and you're a freshman, and then just like a senior that was close with another freshman. So I know it is partly our responsibility to reach out, but like this year, kind of felt a disconnect between upperclassmen and the Blues. So do you have any like plans to like engage the upperclassmen and the lowerclassmen, kind of like getting to know each other even more? So knowing each other's names is like a simple thing that I don't really have now that I want to have when I'm a senior next year.
So I think part of that also is the leaders that you guys choose, depending on who your upperclassmen are in that board, that they're going to be the advocates for their class, getting everybody else to join to come to meetings, because if you have that title, you also have that responsibility of being that person to bring everybody together.
And as a staff expectation, at least what we've been talking about so far is to have involvement outside of your committee, continuing what we've had for this year's staff, and that would be the same for next year's staff too. And above that staff member being involved is also to encourage other members to be involved, and to bring someone else with them that might not come. But it's going to be more than just like having their attendance there, but having them really actually be interested in attending an event in hopes that excitement will translate for other people too.
And simply, we were all actors and videos, just encouraging principals, and then although like you might not be connected with them, but if you're like you'll be connected to your principal, which is definitely so hopefully that would encourage you as well to be their grand office, great grand office, to be like a part of like getting to know them.
It's also a two-way street here, so if we are trying to influence the upperclassmen to come, the upperclassmen also have to.
We have different barriers to work with. I would say with the Boonville class this year, they're very new and they're very excited, and so we want to keep creating that excitement as well. And as they grow as being autism queers, hopefully that can also foster something. The Timitos, you all are very active, always. And there is really, I mean, in our minds, there isn't really a doubt of your activeness going down, but we'll definitely try to continue as well. And then our senior class, I mean, yeah, we weren't as involved this year, but it's our last year, so maybe just, emphasizing that and getting everyone else to actively participate and end it off at the bid. So we'll definitely play with each other's strengths for sure.
Any other questions? No? Okay.
My highlight tomorrow is the rest of all the community positions, whether it's health class, class.
You know what?
Also, whoever ran for e-board, just be aware that if you are elected, there is a meeting on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. So you'll know by Friday if you can go.
And we are accepting nomination stuff for modern
If you have any questions, come talk to us. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Oh, damn!
Don't tell them. Oh, no, I'm not telling them. I'm not telling nobody.
When do we find out? Friday?
No, you find out in 2 weeks. Yeah, you
Okay,
find
2
out.
weeks?
When everyone else finds out, you find out. That's Friday. Yeah.
Of next week?
So, this Friday.
Yeah, let's say. Yeah, we find out Friday, right? Because our meeting is on Sunday. Okay, but just e-board we find out, right?
But we're going to tell them, like,
Yeah. Okay, so
we know.
Good.
I don't cheer for next year.
I need a shot.
Oh, everyone! Thank you for watching the Kapwa elections.
Wait, can we take? Where's Old Board? Come here.
We're gonna take pictures now. Thanks for watching.
This is our last day working together. Can we take a picture like we did in the beginning and have
Oh,
the same one?
where's my trio?
Come here. Thanks for watching Kapwa Election. See you tomorrow for part 2.
I didn't know this was orange, so that's why I said it's my class.
Are we still? Who's watching? One viewer. Who's the viewer? Oh, that's the viewer. Wait, no. Oh, that's not live. This ain't live. What the hell?
Hello.
Oh, wait.
Do you want a room here?
See, it's not live. What the hell? Oh man.
Did you bring your backpack?
No.
Oh my God.
I'll get this one. I'm gonna run for sponsorship advisor.
No, we're all. Hey, wait.
We're gonna be alumni
I'm running
advisors.
for Buffalo.
Oh shit!